heard from all morning. The missing case of Taylor Field. Which I always wonder, one of these situations I never want to be like, because we watch true crime docs all the time, right? And they're always like, oh yeah, I didn't heard from him in a while, and they never think of anything, and you're always like, oh, why didn't you think of anything? But like, there's been times where I haven't heard like 3 days from Kirkland Patzer. I'm like, oh, I know I'm gonna hear from him, but there's gonna be one time where he's gonna be fucking dead, and then be like, why didn't you say anything? Well, that's the normal. Same thing with Taylor. Taylor's not exactly the same, but sometimes he will just go MIA. It's usually like this when he knows he's late for a cast or something like that, so he doesn't want to. It's like if he doesn't read our message, he won't admit that he's late. But yeah, here we are after 9.
He usually has a paper trail at the very least. You can see he was on Discord. He had the green icon there. He dropped a message. He dropped some meme that makes no sense. But Kirkland, this guy is off the grid sometimes, so you'll never know.
I only own burner phones, so I just get rid of them every week.
New one every day.
My go-to even last night when we were playing COD, he was like, "Oh, Emily's still awake." I checked the Facebook. 26 minutes last live. Nah, she's gone, and she could be awake and stuff. But that's my go-to. Dylan doesn't have Facebook, so I don't have that. But usually I can see on Discord. But yeah, Kirkland, there'll be times where I'll pull up his profile, and it was like, it's because usually they'll still, I think it gives you 23 hours, but then when it'll say Kirkland Patzer and then active like 23 hours. Once it gets past 24, it just says Kirkland Patzer, and that's I'm like, oh, he hasn't even been on Facebook in 24 hours. That's No,
I love when I log on Steam and I look through some of my old friends and it's like last online 12 years ago. I'm like, oh my god, what happened to this person?
That's like the old Xbox 360 thing, right? When they had like the characters that would just be asleep, and it's like however many years.
Oh my god, just like
those characters will never wake up again.
Winter Soldier over there, just like Homecoming and whatnot. But this is After 9. It's our monthly call-in show, so it's just talking around, and then anyone wants to join in about probably while these chaps are talking, I'll drop the link. We chat for about 2 hours about anything, about life, movies, shows, games, kind of just where the conversation goes from there. I do got to talk about this fucking 100 Beavers movie at some point. I'm going to wait to see if Clay joins, because Clay did not. Mike can't make it, but he sent me his review.
Over under, is Clay going to be in a moving vehicle at the time of calling in?
Oh, that's been the best
or
thing.
Or like in a gas station, like parked,
Gas station bathroom.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got 5 minutes, guys.
You just hear flushes going on and everything. Yeah, since I've been gone, Clay's always in like a different location or something. So I was going to say, though, I think when we did our NFL football After 9, he was actually in a place, though. He had to leave early, but he was in a house. So
yeah, he's situated for that one.
Yeah. Remember there was that one After 9, Clay was having a really good time and he was all over the map. Yeah.
I like it.
I'm not sure. Dylan, I can't remember if you were gone or here at that point when that happened. But
that doesn't immediately ring a bell. I mean, he's always like a high energy, positive individual, but I feel like you're hinting that he maybe had a couple beers in him or something.
He just disappeared too for a while during the episode. It was just
and
like
you just see him in the background walk by like in his living room.
That doesn't sound familiar, but I can picture it. So that just
it's a great episode. But not sure where Mr. Field is. Hopefully he will.
He said Satine is fighting a nap, is what he said. I'll be there in a bit. So we all know what that means.
Yeah, he's fucking Madison.
For some reason, he put it in the me, Kirkland, and him group chat, and not the.
That's an odd.
Well, I did say I might not make it, right? Maybe that's why. Because at one point I was like, it's all dependent on like.
That makes sense.
Saturday mornings dance usually done at a clean 9:30, but there's we're not super close, but we're getting closer to the summer shows, and that's where they go a little longer, or they're like, oh, let's combine classes and like. This class will watch you practice and then you swap. So that's where it can get a little tricky. The second's like, let's combine classes. But that didn't happen today, luckily. But dances, the shows are coming up. So they're going to be doing all that. Nice. All their getting ready and stuff. And then soccer season's here. It's just Logan, though. Gwen quit. She played goalie once. That was it for her. Retired, Okay.
So, yeah. It's a tough position.
It is a tough, and that's not what she wanted. But,
no.
And that was it. And
a lot of pressure.
She kind of gets down on herself. We talked to her about it, but at the same time, we also don't want to be those parents like, you're going back in and you got to do it. It's like, hey, if you don't want to do it, I don't want to be. That's a no good experience for anybody,
You're taking us to the Olympics, Gwen. You better like it.
Yeah. After that fucking me and Emily.
I want a gold medal on my counter by the time you're 22.
Yeah. Like, again, it worked out for the Williams sisters, but I don't want to be King Williams like 5 a.m. waking the girls up, get on that tennis court, do that. It's like, they're not my life. It's the same thing as like we've talked about before of like, oh, I've only had them on the podcast like, I don't know, probably a handful of times to appear or do something. But I've always seen like, oh, people do like the child review and stuff like that. That might be fun. But then it's like, no, I don't want to get to that lifestyle. Same way I would never get as this bad. But we watched on Disney Plus. There's that. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like The Devil in the Family or whatever it is. It's about that social media family.
Okay.
Not sure if it's a family. They started, of course.
That kind of stuff terrifies me more than any crime doc. Is when these kids are overexposed to this stuff. It's
starts like they're a family of 7, and then it goes 8. So just like our family, and then like the first 2 kids, like they do like social media stuff, but it's all kind of fine. And even the older kids are like, yeah, like other than a camera being around a lot, we had a semi-normal life. But then as things progressed, this woman got worse and worse to the point where, and it gets very religious. But like there was times where some of these kids were like taped up inside, like not fed, just to like try to like get them to do because they didn't want to do this content. Luckily, this person's now 30 years in prison. They tell you that 2 minutes in, so don't worry. But it was a disturbing doc, and that's where I'm like, oh, it's fascinating, but it's crazy again because I watched The Heretic this week. Crazy what people can do with religion and kind of turn that around on you. But terrible story. So yeah, like nah, they're fine to, go do whatever. So.
Good morning, Taylor.
Morning. I didn't know you were here, Travis. Welcome.
Yeah, you didn't put me in the message,
Left him out.
I left you out.
Taylor was actually up all night still just trying to get a win on Warzone. So
I was. I just got off now, actually.
Still no win. He's going to go.
Surprised at how alert you are. Normally, a sleepy Taylor is easy to sniff out, but you're looking well rested right now.
Well, I'm going to go back in after this and get that win, so.
Another 14th place.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could get that place. I didn't know there was that many teams.
Kirkland was surprised. Yeah, for people obviously that wouldn't know, we all played Call of Duty together last night, Warzone, and I think it might be a historic thing for us. We've done because it was me, Taylor, and Emily last week, and then us 4 this week. No wins, 2 weeks in a row. That's a historic thing for me. At least 1 win, but it's I don't know.
Not even a second.
We've had dry spells like that before. That's
2 weeks in a row though.
Oh yeah, I think we pushed at least 3.
I don't know about that. I think I
feel like early Warzone, it took a while to get some wins. Like
those were long games though too, right? Before Rebirth.
True. Before Rebirth.
Yeah, when's Verdansk coming back? I think that'll be when I reemerge.
I think April. April's when it's
really?
coming. Yep.
I did not expect an answer to that. I thought it'd be.
They dropped the trailer for it. They dropped the trailer for it and all.
Because the 5-year anniversary. That's why they're doing.
Okay, I'm gonna go in retirement until then. So it's a little, I guess, a hiatus, not a retirement. But I'm done with this Rebirth Island. I don't have the Twitch.
There's the other Resurgence map, Area 99, which we should have tried last night.
I haven't even heard of that.
Could have went better than this at least. So, did you after we logged off? Did you stay on and still grind the gears on Call of Duty?
No, I popped on Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Oh, you're already on 3 and 4. We're not even ready for those till next weekend.
I just couldn't stop. It's just I'm having a good time.
Okay, couldn't stop. All right. I'm going to drop the links. Anyone wants to join, go ahead. We got 4 of us here, so 6 people, so jump in there. But, yeah. How was your morning, Taylor?
Wait, sorry, 4 of us here, so 6 people?
StreamYard can only, I think it might be up to 12 though now. I can't remember. There's like a limit of people.
Oh, you mean 6 on top of us 4.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought he meant like 2 more.
Only 2 exclusive slots. Yeah.
Our 2 favorite patrons are doing the ones that give us the best review.
And if you're not funny and interesting, we'll kick you out of the room and we'll get someone else.
You have 5 minutes to entertain us. And
prove yourself. Tell us a
your
joke.
Set. Go, yeah. It's like those old SNL editions when it's just like them on a stage and it's just 15 minutes of them riffing and there's no laughing or anything, so it's just the most pathetic stuff you've ever seen. Like, luckily, lots of those people get hired, but still, it's tough to watch those. And
wait, are those auditions or was that like a thing they did early on?
So it would be like, let's say us 3, like me, Taylor, Kirkland, or Lauren Michaels, SNL crew, and Dylan, you want to be an SNL. So we're sitting back. You'd get on the stage usually where they do like the opening monologue and probably the other skits or sketches. Sorry, don't want to offend anybody. Sketches, and you get up there, and then you just do your routine, and you do like your impressions. You do like, oh, I call this character this and this character this, and like I'm sure there's a couple where they laughed. I think the famous one is the Farley one they laugh, but most of the time it's dead silent.
The Will Ferrell one is funny because he's like pretending to be a cat and he's like playing with a ball of yarn. He's like rolling around on the ground and stuff, and then just no reaction from him.
And I couldn't imagine, like, I imagine something like auditioning must be awful, but I feel like that, because like auditioning, I feel like it's a bit different. It's like you got a line, you're a little bit different. For that of like you got to stretch your improv comedy muscles like that. Yeah, just be a cat. It's like, and you're just like luckily it all worked out, but that just has to be so nerve-wracking in that moment to be like, I got to be a fucking cat to these strangers and
then just like the long list of people who like didn't get cast. Like I know like Jim Carrey's one.
Carrey
it's
tape, yeah, that's the big
crazy
one,
that you know some of these people didn't get selected in hindsight.
But thank goodness he didn't, because you ever seen In Living Color? His stuff was fantastic on that show.
Is that what he did instead? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Taylor Kirkland, you guys should know In Living Color. No.
Should I?
So the Wayans brothers before you should. The Wayans brothers before they did Scary Movie, White Chicks, everything like that, they had an SNL show where it was Jim Carrey, it was some of the Wayans brothers, like Damon Wayans was on there. There's other stars.
Do you think that would hold up? Should we go back and watch it, or is it like going to be, this is rough to go back to?
I think it might hold up. I don't think a lot of the stuff's probably appropriate for this.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, much like the Scary Movie stuff. But like, there's like, I think this one would probably be safe. Like Jim Carrey played a famous character called Fireman Bill, and he's completely disfigured and blown up, and that the joke was like he's telling you the best way to like protect yourself from a fire, and like he'd always like end up on fire or something like that. There was a good I can't remember Damon. Can someone search Damon Wayans clown? And he played like a party clown, but he was it's Homie the Clown. He was completely bitter. He was like on welfare, and he like it'd be like, oh, you got to teach the kids this week, and he was just like a piece of shit teacher, and it was very funny and comedic. So that was like their answer to SNL, but that's where Jim Carrey went and kind of made his bones. He was like the Eddie Murphy of that show in the 90s. He like held that show together. But there's some fun stuff in there, so it's worth a watch.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a good history lesson there.
Yeah. And now it's just SNL. Everyone else fucking died. What was it? That died. What was the other one? Mad TV. That's gone.
Yeah. What was the SCTV? Is that the
SCTV. One? That's gone.
I remember watching that one.
What was the deal with that one?
Just Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Canadian comic.
What's the chap from Schitt's Creek? He was in there.
Eugene Levy.
Yeah,
I thought he was on Mad. Is he on that one?
I don't think so.
Oh.
He might have I can't remember. I think they sometimes had guests on. I don't think it was like a guest star, but yeah, gotcha. I didn't watch Mad TV as much other than I was a big fan of the Stewart sketches. Those were good. You ever saw those?
Stewart.
Yeah, he had like a bowl cut, and he was like, I think they the character they portrayed was kind of on the spectrum, but it was not actually on the spectrum. So another maybe thing that didn't hold up nowadays.
The classic '90s, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see. I have to shout this out too before we continue. We got this review from me and Taylor. We released Jedi Survivor only a year ago. Wrong. YouTube. May 2023. Okay, so Dylan, you were quick on that.
I know my stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes.
But we got this comment on here, which I just had a great time. So this was yesterday. Great discussion. Was going so well until you said there isn't enough diversity. One of the huge factors of why Stars has gone so downhill is pushing political agendas and virtue signaling over telling a complete story. Now, here's my thing, and two things I'll say here. One, don't think this person's correct, because I know people have their bubble and they heard the D word and they lost it. Because I know people online, whatever, you can find the worst. I've never bumped into anybody in the real life when we've talked about Star Wars and maybe why they're not going to see a Star Wars movie or why they didn't like it. They didn't ever open up with, man, there's not enough white people in this, Like, I've not had that experience. I guess this man might have, or he personally still has it. So that's one where I don't think that is the reason why Star Wars has gone down. I don't think it's any reason at all. I think it's just something. But
I definitely listened to that episode, and I don't remember there being any weird comments about,
This is what it is. I'll tell you what it is.
I know what it is. Yeah.
I'm completely fine with having diversity in all franchises. Doesn't care to me. Just good story. Stars has had good stories with Disney, had bad stories. Doesn't matter. Me and Taylor, when we were talking about diversity, which I think is so funny, we were talking about man, we'd really like a game where we could play as an alien for once. That's what we talked about. So the fact that we just used the word diversity, which describes many things, is we'd like to play as an alien. This person, their alert went off and it was oh my God, they said the D word. But I just got a good cockle out of that. A good chuckle out of that. Because like me and Taylor have been saying it for a while. We want to play as an alien. We want to play as an alien. So like I still want to play as an alien as the main character. I still want diversity with an alien. But I just laugh at someone. And sir, I'm just going to delete your comment off the page so no one will ever see it. That's my favorite thing I do now. Just delete them, and you'll hear it here. But this is more just to make fun of you.
Never delete that James Cameron one though. That's an iconic message. I go back.
That was on Apple, so I can't get rid of that one. So yeah.
Travis Dillon, I got something for you. I did this to Kirkland.
Get out of the room, Kirkland. You're banned.
Kirkland can provide support, but I want to test you guys on this because I didn't know this was a thing until recently. This is a urinal etiquette test.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to start with the first one. You guys can collaborate, discuss, independent, whatever you want. Which urinal are you using in this situation? You walk into the bathroom.
Well, I would go spank the guy on the ass on the left and then pee right next to him. That's what I would do.
I was going to pee next to the guy on the right. I was going to go to that another one beside because I like people on my right side. Like even when I see movies with people, I like them on my right side.
Because you're right-handed.
Yeah, so this way, the only reason I would go to the left person is if they gave me a funny look, because I'd want to go over there and assert dominance over them. Like, no, I can pee right here. So it'd either be beside people, but in the middle, not on the sides, because I don't know, save that for someone else. That maybe.
So you're going here.
I'm going there. Yeah.
And you're going here, Dylan?
No. I was joking. I'd go right in the middle, of course, but I also don't like to be in the middle. I like to be like a corner. I like to be a corner spot, but I don't want to be next to someone. Of course, you got to give space, like on the bus. If you're going on a bus and there's an empty seat, you use the empty seat before you sit next to someone else, right? Same mentality here for a urinal.
Right. Well, I'm surprised. Okay, okay, we'll just keep going. Me and Kirkland were very in line on some of these, and so far, I questioned Travis's picks, but it's okay.
I had one pick. What's wrong with it?
Well, how about this one?
This one's easy. Far right corner. Put me in that corner, and I'll, plant a home there.
Again, you see that guy on the right? Right to his left, right there. Because I'm right.
You're going here?
Yeah, why not? That's too much space. Here's the thing. There's too much space on the right there, so I'm gonna get a little cold. If you go on these middle ones, body temperature.
What are you doing, man?
So like at least you don't want a cold
body
thing
temperature.
and then on the
you
left,
want to feel
there,
his warm urine next to you?
I just don't like no his body, not the urine. And then on the left, I just don't like the one single stall there. So yeah, on the right to the left of the right guy right there. This is a visual aid, so
Taylor, you and Kirkland went in the corner too, right?
We're taking the far right one for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, scared of something, eh?
Okay, how about this one?
Oh, now this is where it gets tricky.
I might in the middle of those two, just to even it out, because then there's like, see, 3 and the 2, then they're like just symmetry. I think works for me right there. So yeah, I'm going right in the middle there.
I'd pull a Travis here, and I'd go to the left of the. I'd go in the 4th stall, I guess. Yeah.
So the very dead center.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you do too, Travis. You're going dead center here.
No, I'm going.
You're going.
Yeah,
in
dead
between.
center there. Yeah, in between.
My hope with that one is that if I go there, the guy next to me, maybe he's almost done, and then I have some peace and quiet.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm never going.
These urinals look really close together.
No, I think Travis is the kind of guy that he'll peep over the little visor thing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what you do? Oh,
what are you working with there?
Yeah, and that's why you don't want to be cold.
Okay,
easy middle.
There's got to be a clear answer here. What are you doing, Travis?
Same before as the left, those two guys on the right to the left, right there. That's my spot.
No, Travis would budge in between those two guys on the right.
Can you move over one?
Yeah. Just midstream.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Okay,
I know where I'm going here.
Look at this cat pee ad on the right side of the screen, by the way. That is...
Yeah, it really sucks. I hate
I got 3 cats in my house. This knows what's
the target ads.
Yeah.
Very far left for me, because then I can leave all those open for the other people.
Oh, he's trolling now. He's just fucking with us.
No, why? Like that just feels weird. It feels awkward if I leave all that open, like just right there, because then it's like,
but
which
it's less
spot do I
awkward to
take?
stand right next to the guy.
Exactly, and he's probably going to be done soon. So then when he leaves, I get that spot and then all to myself. Then no one's.
That guy's no hands too. Hey, he's just free wilding over here. So I don't think I'd want to go next to him. I might get splashed over here.
You remember?
So I'm going deep right corner here. I'm planting a tent there, and I'm just call it a home. Yeah.
We all used to do that in elementary school. You remember that? We would just unzip and you just like do like the classic hands on the hips and just.
You still don't do it?
I did not do that.
I did.
Kirkland, I think it was this one, right? Second from the right.
Why would you do that one?
Because then you're not like
far right.
You chose far right. Because I feel like then you're not like making
Curtain's
it
always
too
far away.
awkward to the guy, saying you want to be super far away, but you're still giving him his room to breathe
This is
with
an
3
accepted
stalls.
rule.
Oh my gosh.
Where is he now? We got Brandon Clay. It's good to see you. We were wondering where were you going to be in this situation, and you're always somewhere else. You're the Waldo of the group.
I
Not
am.
in a car.
It's a super nice day out here. Can you hear the wind? Is it like crazy loud?
Yeah, a little, just a little.
All right, I'm gonna move inside. Hang on.
He's got to find the
I res-
nearest
I
vehicle.
respect wanting to
Get
be
inside the
outside,
nearest
though.
vehicle.
That's great.
Yeah, it's nice. I've always wanted. We've talked about doing an outside podcast. We should for the 10 year at some point, and just whatever noise, like not a news episode, just like a bread and butter. But
You already showed us this one, Taylor.
Yeah, it's a duplicate. Okay, here you go.
ooh, that's tricky.
This is tricky. This is a tricky one.
I feel like
deep
this
right
is
corner again. I like deep right corner. That's my
Deep right
spot.
corner?
Apparently. Yeah.
I think the one that Dylan said, but 2 over. So right in the middle there. That's
Was-
fine, 'cause- yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I have. That'd be the spot right there. You know, right in the middle there. I think that works out good. And someone's gonna leave, so I'll have some extra space soon. So
Was this the one where you applied the door logic, Kirkland? Like closest to the sink?
Yes, like if the sink's on the left.
There's no
here,
sink in
I'm-
this
I'm not
picture.
choosing the left.
But this
far
is just
Okay,
the
so
possible layout of
further
the bathroom.
elaborating on my
Where did-
answer.
to help me answer, Taylor, where would you say the sink is?
If the sink is on the right, then I feel like you would probably want to go closest to the sink, right? Because that guy's probably going to be leaving soon.
Well,
You
I
don't
just
wanna
be
take in
as close-
between.
Okay, I just want to be as close to the sink as possible. So wherever that is, I'll take that one. So then, while you're watching, the
You're just
fans,
pissing in the sink.
I'm still pretty close to them.
How about this one?
Oh, left side easily.
You
You're a
love
freak.
you love a
Yeah,
crowd, eh?
Yeah, I had nothing to hide. You know, strike
like,
up a conversation with.
Drop
a
your
fellow
pants, just like, yeah, look at this, huh?
peer. Yeah. to my
Now-
The guy at the
ankles.
left there is like, oh fuck, it's this guy again.
This guy hates sitting beside a random in a movie theater, but he's willing to just park it right next to 2 dudes
That's
in the
different.
bathroom
The
stall.
movie theater, I'm ready to, or the washroom, I'm gonna walk in, pee, do my business, wash my hands, leave. Movie theater can be a 3-hour experience. I want to, you know,
Hey, this could be a 3-hour experience.
I
Who
hope
knows?
not. Gentlemen out there or ladies, if you're going pee, it takes 3 hours. Please go see your local physician as quickly as possible. Here, you can ask Carl. Carl, he's gonna pick some good spots too.
Hey, Carl. Which stall are you using?
Yo.
Morning, Carl.
What stall? Who's got the smallest one?
Small stall or small somewhere?
Someone else. Which one am I going to pick? Yeah, you'll go for the one with 2. If you squeeze in there between the left
Yeah.
and the 2 guys, that's just weird.
That's where I'm going.
I
a
agree.
good spot.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Especially cold winters.
yeah. Like
What's
today.
next day? Yeah, exactly. Good day to bundle up. Oh, that was it. Okay,
There you go. That's it.
that was it. Okay. You right over there? Or are you taking a pee right now, Carl?
No, I'm just back from football.
Oh, how'd
Nice.
that go?
Yeah, chasing after a pile of 19-year-olds is not fun. At the tender age of 40.
That's one way to word it.
Thank God we asked about the football first.
Chasing a lot of balls about.
Yeah. How's it going, Carl? How's life been? What you been up to other than the chasing the 19-year-olds? Oh,
Yeah, all good.
In a
all
car.
good.
Look at that.
you know, before Carl goes, I'd love just like a scene where he's in the car and then all of a sudden like a big car hits him. There's like a shootout, like we see Clay like. Take
I don't
out a
want
gun.
that.
No,
That
like
sounds
he's
horrible.
fine. No, like he's
Jesus.
secretly like he's a secret agent. Like he's taking the gun, and he's shooting everything like that.
Okay.
You know,
As
that'd be
long as
great.
it was well directed, I'm in.
There you go.
True.
You get the phone. So sorry, Carl. Continue. What you been doing?
Not much. Just living the dream. 40 this year, so going all midlife crisis and
Oh.
everything.
Are you
I
actually
turned
just
30
doing
this
that for
year.
the meme?
Relatable.
No, I'm 40 in September, yeah, so.
What are you buying? What's your big midlife crisis buy?
I bought a camper van, so I've been doing that up since last year.
Nice.
So I've never done any DIY in my life, so it was a challenge. It was quite fun. And now I have to paint it and sand it all down on the outside. And then I've just came back from Disneyland. I was in Disneyland this week with my daughter.
Oh,
So that was good.
nice.
We went over to Paris, spent the week there.
Cool.
And now I'm bankrupt, of course.
Oh yeah,
Not so
trip to
cool.
Disney is
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a full day in Paris shopping. It was not good.
Oh man.
But-
What was the thing she was most excited to get down there?
She loves rides, so she went on like the Tower of Terror like 9 times.
Nice.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, they still got the
it's
Tower of
not
Terror
nice.
out there.
Yeah,
It's not the
it was
Guardians,
quick.
right?
Oh, that's cool.
No, it's not the Guardians. Still the old school one.
That's cool. I'd love one of those parks to not change any of that and just stay. Was like Toontown still
Orlando
there?
is like that. Orlando's
No.
still Twilight Zone one.
Is it Orlando
Didn't see
still has
that.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the Disney stuff for like the Marvel and Star stuff, but it's like I've always said like build more park. I get it why they replace it. People don't know what the hell tower, but it doesn't matter if it's a fun ride. The kids will go on it. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah, she loved it.
nice. Well, hopefully
But she didn't care about all the other Disney stuff. Didn't want to meet any of the characters. Just wanted to do all the rides.
How old is she
I'm like,
now?
okay. She's 10.
Yeah,
11,
that makes
sorry, in a
sense.
couple
That's-
weeks.
That starts to be the
Yeah.
time where you're like it's just Mickey Mouse, you know. Like there's like I feel like because my oldest is 7 and she hasn't lost that yet, but I started to see the first signs like well, I don't really want to watch Barney with the other sisters, you know. Like I'm starting to see that okay, you're growing up, or like I want to play, you know, I want to have Facebook Messenger kids or like be on Roblox and play with my friends. That's
Childhood
like,
wonder is gone. She's ready for the adult world.
yeah, it's not yet, but it's like I think I got like another year and a half. I'm like, oh no, you're gonna hate me in a couple
Dude,
of years.
it literally, just like the movies say, she changes within like 2 months. or a
Oh,
month.
yeah.
Like last summer, she just went from being a girl to like almost a woman, and like, what the hell's going on?
At school,
She just
fucking
went,
shit.
shoot it up. She got boobs. It was just like, nope, I can't cope with this. I'm out.
Oh yeah, you're shopping for
I'm
bras
done.
now and everything.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Getting asked questions, we're like, oh, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, she's like, can I have a boyfriend? The answer is still no.
Oh, I haven't got that,
But-
thank goodness.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, it's coming to you soon. Don't worry.
Don't say there's a threat that's coming to you.
It's coming for you.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it's like Thanos. Yeah. No, like I said, I'm not ready for all of that. I've said this before in the advice. I hope one of them is either gay or bisexual, because like then I can just like I got all the advice for dealing with women. Dating men, it's like that's a whole different ball game. That's when it's like, oh man, gonna have to meet these guys, and I feel like I don't know. I just like I don't. I can't say anything more. I can't say anything more on air about family dynamic.
You'll make them do the
Meeting
urinal
other-
test, see where they align.
Oh, 100%. That's all you. I'll pull this up. Like the only way you're taking my daughter out is if you pass this test, and he has to pick the same answers as I do. The exact same
Nobody
ones.
would. So
Or he's out.
Impossible
Well,
task.
you know, whatever. So, Clay, what you doing right now? How long you with us? You with us for a whole time? A little bit?
I think most or all of the time. Yeah, I at some point I might go over to a buddy's house to watch the end of the Michigan State game. But
He's still gonna be. We're gonna be watching the game with him. Oh, look, the score and stuff.
no. Well, maybe we'll see. But no, it kind of lined up today where it's a super nice day out. So I was gonna get outside anyway, and I'm going to after this. And then my roommate was also. He was having a date over or something. I'm like, okay, perfect time for me.
Oh yeah.
You know, I try to be a good roommate. I try.
Yeah.
But no, we've got nice weather here, and I'm a happy camper. That's about all what's going on with me. I started a new job this past Monday, so
Nice.
thankful for that.
Congrats.
Yeah. That's
What's the position?
right now it's like the sales rotational program. So it's a sales thing, but it's up in the air right now where I'm still just learning all the products. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm excited about it, but it's like an industrial supplier for a lot of offices, manufacturing shops, little machine shops, all kinds of stuff around the Midwest. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good on you.
What is exciting that's going on with you guys? Anything?
I'm not sure. I'm bringing Maddie in. He's looking like
Oh, there we
a
go.
screenslaver from Incredibles. So I don't know if he's there or not, but he hadn't put his photo up, so I was like, I'll just bring him in now. You there, Maddie?
Oh,
No, he's still
I heard
watching.
the
He's
rustling
watching
of a
He's watching the
microphone.
Michigan game, so we'll keep him there. But not much for me. I'm trying to think if there's any life stuff really, but no, it's just been getting back in the fold of work, podcasting, life. But no, it's kids are almost done skiing, so they'll be home a bit more soon. But I guess that's it. Spring break for kids, so now they're home for 2 weeks, so that'll be a fun.
It's
and
on right
hectic
now?
time.
Spring break?
Yeah, just happened
Holy
on
hell.
Friday. So, which I learned that I guess there's like I don't know, petition, but I guess some parents or whatnot, they're trying to like get rid of the 2 weeks. They want to like split it to another time, which is just like the dumbest thing. I'm just like, I don't understand.
No, split it. It was 1 week for us back in the day. These
Yeah,
kids
I
are
agree.
they're lucky
I
they get
agree.
2 weeks.
I had 2 weeks.
I never had 2 weeks.
Yeah, no. So that's why for
No.
me, it's like I don't want to split like that. Because the thing is, though, it's I feel like it for me, it's easier to plan out. Doesn't matter. I guess I should talk out of my ass. I work from home, so it's easier. And I get maybe that's the case. It's hard for childcare, but just like I feel like as a kid, I don't know. Taylor only had 1 week. That would suck to just have 1 week. Like 2 weeks felt like an actual break. It was good. Felt like a spring break. Like a week off. That's just like an extended Thanksgiving, Christmas, or something. So.
Yeah.
No, kids get too much time off. I agree.
No.
No, yeah.
No,
No,
they should
All
have
keep
my
them in
summers
there.
off again.
Yeah.
Take a good
And, like,
Madeira.
need a break
I don't know if
from
it's the
shit
same
kids.
in Canada and the States, but like when I was at school, we used to get a lot of homework. Like you would come home at 3 and you would have like 2 hours worth of homework. Not that I did much of it, but it was still there. It's supposed to be done. Nowadays, kids get like my son has 0 homework and he's like in the middle of high school and he's got like all his big exams coming up.
Oh,
And
Is he just
wish.
like
Actually-
kicking ass though, and he's getting it all done during the day?
No, they just don't get homework.
No.
They think over here they've decided that they work hard enough during class. I'm like, when we were in school, it was 9 to 3:20. Now they get out at 3 p.m. It's
Oh.
20 minutes less.
I agree. As someone that absolutely hated school, I'm all for that stuff. I'm like, yeah, they don't need to be working at home. They don't like.
Yeah.
Like we do home reading and stuff, but there's not that much. They get words we have to practice, but there's not too much. So and the homework I can't remember because I feel like we get like a good amount, but I also would put off to the very last second. So it always felt like a lot, but it was like
Oh man.
waking
I
up
would
at
do
6 a.m.
I would do my homework, the morning. the morning
Yeah.
of. I would-
I just met my
hell no,
friend and
one
copied
hour for
his,
2
and that
in the
was it.
evenings,
Yep.
School in the mornings. Yeah.
I mean, even if kids get homework nowadays, do they do it or does Chat GPT do it for them? I mean,
That's a good point.
Well, exactly. With like
Right.
computer, you can do that all. And like, I don't fucking remember anything from school really. Like,
Yeah.
none of that science stuff. No, I say in social studies, I know that we burned down the White House, and I learned Louis Riel. Like, alt is a fucking blur. I wish there was a way they could make it that okay, you do those kind of blur stuff in elementary and middle school, but then high school should like really focus on like, okay, you don't got to take all the stuff, but take the stuff like you're gonna want to learn, you know, or there should be way more life planning stuff. It's like the last month and a half of school, they're like, okay, here's the life course, and you're learning about taxes and budgeting, but like you don't learn that for the whole 3 years, so they just throw you out there. It's like I feel like the stuff that I need in today's world, I did not learn that. Like I had to learn after high school, where it's like, okay, cool, I learned how to dissect a frog, awesome. Like,
bullshit.
yeah, I don't know. It needs a whole redo. But yeah, I don't want the 2 week split, and I'm done with the fucking time changes. That's what we need to be. I want change. I don't
BC's
want
like,
change.
as far as when I was reading into that, like we're a go, but I think all that's waiting because the Western states are all in agreement too. I think we just need like presidential like approval to do it.
Presidential approval?
Presidential approval. I think that's what I was reading. I think it was supposed to, like it was pushed up to Biden a couple times, but like it was just quiet air
Why
on
do
it.
Why do we need? No offense to Clay, but why do we need the Americans to approve what we do in our time zone?
So the whole Western side is all aligned, right?
Let's split off. Whatever. Fuck it. What does it matter? What it is?
We're 6
Again,
p.m. LA
it-
6 a.m. for some reason.
Maybe there's
Which
someone
makes
in the
sense.
world, but is Clay gonna like wake up and be like those fucking Canadians got their own time zones? Like I don't know. Like, is anyone in America truly gonna
releases
care if we're an
early.
hour behind now? It's yeah,
Trump-
we're getting political.
Trump
Yeah.
will find a way to care. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, when they're a state, they'll be on our own time zone and stuff. But like, no, I don't know. I'm done with the time changes as well. I hate that. I
Isn't
feel
the whole
it's
idea of
lighter
time
out.
change for like farmers as well? Like, isn't that,
Yeah, that's
isn't
what
that
it was
the whole-
for.
Yeah, but I ain't
Yeah.
no fucking farmer.
So they get to work the
It's not
extra
all
hour.
about you, Travis.
There was a study done here in the UK. I remember reading it a few years ago, and they said that more people have accidents the day of
Yes.
the time change.
It's true.
Mhm. It's true.
Yeah.
And
The
whole
same
week,
thing
too.
with
It's weird,
cardiovascular issues. There's like a big spike in like heart attacks and stuff when you lose an hour, and then it's the complete opposite when you gain an hour. Because
That's why they're doing it.
That's
They're trying to
affected
kill
your
people
health.
off. That's why.
There's
There's
too many of
Then
us,
they
to be
save
fair.
us,
Like,
yeah.
I
There's
agree
too
with
many.
Thanos. You know, click that shit away. Snap it.
Why does he not just provide more resources, Carl?
Nah, get rid of the people.
He
It's
could literally
easier.
be like,
I
I'm going to
agree.
duplicate Earth, and then half people could go there, half people go there. You know?
He just hated daylight savings, so he couldn't
Yeah.
get rid of it. He snapped for white people.
That's what started the like the snap conversations. He
He
woke
woke
up one
up
night. Yeah.
Grumpy,
Oh,
got less sleep.
3 a.m.
What the
It's
fuck?
supposed to be 2. And he's a farmer kind of, right? You look at that planet he ends up on. There's lots of crop. That's what he's doing in what is it? Endgame, right? He's farming. He's cooking some stews or whatever. So that's what he had. He was farming one day. He's like, this fucking time change. I got to do something. Like, well, there's too many people. We can't do that. And the president won't. The president, just Thanos meeting Joe Biden. Like, no, sorry, Mad Titan. We can't change the time. We're gonna be doing this for the rest of the future. But alas. Well, you two over there, what you doing for life?
Who's the two? There's
Who's
more
two?
The
than
two that
two.
hadn't talked. You two on the right. Clay talked about his new job. Carl talked about his trip. I talked about the skiing and time change.
Yeah, I got snowboarding this weekend. I'm excited. Got some nice snow here. Getting near the end of the season. I already got my notice that I have to buy my next season's pass already. It's time's just flying.
have
here,
to?
And, well, it's like early bird pricing, right? It's
Right.
better to get it, especially with how much I go. Like it's a no-brainer.
course.
I would
day
love to try
passes are just
snowboarding.
Way too expensive.
You-
I would
you
love
would
to
be
have
good
it,
at it,
Carl.
Carl.
Next time you're here.
I don't know. I think I'd be hurt very quickly because I'm stupid. I would just kind of go for the biggest jump I could find with
Oh, yeah,
zero
that's
experience.
stupid. That's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Especially at your
You
age,
can go-
Carl. Come on.
You can come
Yeah.
out here. None
yeah,
of us
true.
are gonna house you, but you can come out here and try it, and we'll just
Cheers.
give you
Thanks.
some.
Thanks for
That's what-
thanks for the invite, Travis.
We'll give you some pointers, but we're not gonna go out with you. Just like you have
That's
to.
all right. Just point me to where it is. Just don't go with me.
Yeah,
I'll go with
exactly.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'll go with you.
Thanks.
I'll take
Thanks,
the other
Kirkland.
one.
No
Appreciate
helmet.
that.
I'm gonna change like whatever. Are there screws in your skis? Can you tamper with them, Kirkland?
He
Like a
wants to
snowboard?
snowboard.
I was
Snowboard.
yeah.
Can I tamper with
Snowboard.
the snowboard?
Oh, you could very much tamper it. Yeah.
There you go,
could just undo some bindings, have them
Yeah.
fly off.
Put a bomb on it.
I'm like a cat though. I've got like so many lives. It's ridiculous.
But the bomb though, Carl, that's gonna get you.
Ah,
You're gonna do a
we're from
jump?
Belfast. I'm from Belfast, lad. We make bombs in our bathrooms.
You're gonna do a jump. You're like, look, Kirkland, I'm doing it, and then Carl blown up, and then the season's over. So.
It'd be like that video you sent me last night. Just blows
Yeah.
up. So yeah, that's going on. I've been kind of getting hyped for football again. Just like keep close attention
Still-
on just
you
the
still
free
got a while to
agency.
go there.
And I know that's the issue. So I plugged in college football again. I started a new dynasty, just building up my school, getting all hyped on it. And I don't think we're getting Aaron Rodgers, and I don't want him at all. And I'm really hoping that's the case.
Where in
Vikings. There's just rumors that he's going
Oh. You meant college.
places.
They're sending
Oh,
him
no,
back to
absolutely not.
college ball.
I'm just keeping eyes on Vikings signings, and I'm liking the changes that they've made to just the lines.
So you were happy with Sam going?
Yeah, I never thought he was going to stay. I was like 100% guaranteed he wasn't going to stay. It's a lot of pressure on McCarthy, but yeah, hopefully it pays out.
I'm gonna say you're not making. Travis told you Vikings not making the
Ooh.
playoffs next year.
Interesting.
And I'm not
Pizza
saying
bet?
we're doing it either. I'm just
Pizza
saying. What? Ooh, Clay, what do you think about that?
Small size?
I want to just a quick tangents. Do you think the Vikings are making the playoffs next year? Lost Sam, some other people.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, he
You're
agrees
muted,
with me.
Clay.
Yeah, no, you're muted, Clay.
I
can
don't.
tell.
I just think JJ McCarthy's kind of a liability. Like I got to watch him a
Yes.
lot. U of M, obviously, because I'm here in the state of Michigan, and I'm not a big U of M fan, but my sister goes there, and a lot of my buddies went there and stuff. So the games are always on. And I mean, I don't love Michigan, so I'm probably kind of biased, but I thought he was the weak point of that championship team they had, and he is. I mean, we all saw him on the sideline. He's like tiny, like teeny tiny. He looks like he's. I don't understand how he's possibly going to be able to be successful. I mean, maybe he'll prove me wrong, but
Maybe he's fast.
we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody in the NFL is fast though. Like he was fast in college. Then when you jump up to the NFL, everyone was the best player on their college team.
That's true.
So like,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
fine. Yeah.
We'll see.
I'll pizza bet you, Kirkland.
Okay,
I feel
let's
good
do it.
after Clay kind of backing me up there. So I just feel like this is a classic football thing where they let a lot of people go and like, yeah, it's going to be better. And then, like I said, you're going to see the Seahawks go in and win. Just like, not to hurt Clay, but just like what happened to Matt Stafford with Detroit. They let him go. Then 2 years later, he's won the fucking Super Bowl. And it's like, because that was always the thing of like, oh, well, Lions can't win a Super Bowl with Stafford. He's not the guy. Can't
Wasn't
be
it the
him.
first year that he went there?
Was it the first year or second year, Clay?
I think it was the
can't
first
remember.
year he went there.
I think it was the first year. Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
2021.
I'm sorry, Clay.
Well,
That's even worse.
the reason we couldn't win the Super Bowl with Stafford is because he took up our whole payroll. So I was
Yes.
all a greedy bastard.
Yeah,
I like
that's true.
bastards.
Yeah, gotta get the money. So, anything other than snowboard and skiing?
Just like planning our Japan trip now. We're like trying to
Right.
pinpoint what hotels and stuff to pick.
This
Flights are
fucking
all
guy.
purchased already.
Oh,
It's,
wow, nice.
it's gonna be
That's
pricey. It's gonna be a pricey
Yeah.
trip, but yeah, we've been looking forward to it for a very long time. Everything
Cruise
was
gonna be-
booked and planned in COVID, and then had to cancel all that. So
Right. It's a long
here
time
we are,
coming.
5 years later, and
Yeah, I'm
Japan's
pricing
still there, so
ticket.
it's good.
I'm pricing taking my son that he wants to go to Tokyo.
Nice.
So, because I took the daughter to Disneyland, just me and her have to take him somewhere. So,
nice. I'll meet you there.
Tokyo's kind of been on
November.
my
Let's go.
bucket list.
We'll go snowboarding in Tokyo.
I can't get a ball in there. That's too far for me. I can't. I'll send it with you, Kirkland. Don't say anything on the. Don't say anything on the plane.
There's going to be a knock on Travis's door tomorrow.
This just starts against you, nobody else, not the country or anything. Just Carl. But
Well, it's my Ireland,
yeah,
so it's against the whole country.
yeah, of course, yeah. No, that's gonna be a fun trip. You're gonna see Kirkland doing a lot of solo casts when you get back though to pay off that trip. You can be like, okay,
Yeah.
Office episode number 2 review.
As long as I remember to list them, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, Kirkland's trip plan this year has been fucking awful. I've had to move a lot of stuff around, but that's okay. So, and because
That's what I
I was
do.
gone, and Kirkland had listed as tentative, but then Taylor's like, "No, that trip's for sure happening." Like the batch just hasn't told me yet. He just hasn't told me like, "Hey,
It's
I'm
on the
missing
schedule,
this."
man.
What?
Just
He
check.
said tentative, so I'm like, this means it hasn't happened yet. And then it's like, okay, I got to move GV Day, and it's fine. We did it, but it's just like every
You
time I
wanted to
log
move
in.
GV Day because it was after Halloween. Don't blame.
No,
or
that's
no,
Extra
I'm thinking
Life.
Extra Life. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
we're doing
thinking.
that the week
Never mind.
after because
Yeah.
me and Taylor got Halloween, then you're gone.
That was me on
so-
GV Day.
Yeah. So, but then GV Day, you're also gone for something. You're in Alberta, I think. But
Oh,
I
my
moved
mother-
it.
You're not
again.
gonna be here for GV Day?
He
10
is.
years?
We
I'm back,
moved
man.
it. Yeah, I moved it. But
Come on, I wouldn't miss it, Dylan. Come on.
he,
Sounds like you
he
were
was
trying
gonna miss
to.
it.
It sounds like there
It's
was a
tentative.
concerted effort
It's
to miss
tentative.
all of our live events this year. The 2 that we do.
Yeah. What about you, Taylor?
Oh, let's see what's been cooking lately. Just been getting work done on the car, getting it ready because we're gonna be going down to the coast at the end of this month. That'll be fun.
Now, what do you mean by the coast?
Vancouver Island.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go out to
There's
the
a lot
island.
of coast, so I just
There's
want
a lot of coast, a lot of coast. Yeah. I've been seeing there's been a lot more earthquakes happening. I think 3 down there, which has been just. I always in the back of my mind think I don't want to be on that island when that mega quake hits, just rips the island open like a zipper. I don't want to be there for
Oh,
that.
That's how we're gonna.
I had
lose
I had a house shaker here 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
That's probably one of the ones that were popping off.
Yeah, I think that was like the seashell one. Like I felt.
Oh, yeah.
That. I thought the people upstairs just like dropped a desk or something huge, but and then I was like, oh, turns out that was an earthquake. That was the biggest one I felt. It was fine, but yeah, it was. There's been apparently there's like 400 a year or something between like Vancouver Island and like Washington, like Seattle,
That's a
I
lot.
guess, which is insane. More than one a day somehow. I don't know how the math checks out on that, but that's pretty crazy.
Right above that, the Wanda Fuca plate, right? So it's just like, just grinding.
Just grinding those
What'd you
gears.
say?
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun to go out there, see family, avoid any potential tsunamis and earthquakes at all costs. But
Tsunamis. Jesus.
yeah, well, that's what
Yeah,
happens
life
after an
jacket.
earthquake.
After every
Don't watch
earthquake?
that. Don't watch that Ewan McGregor movie. That one's
That
scary.
one, with Tom Holland,
The
holy
Impossible?
shit!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
That
Sounds
movie's
good.
good, but it is scary as shit.
it's a heavy movie. I could. That's the
What is it,
one.
disaster movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
But why?
think
Why
I've
is it
seen that
just
one.
very realistic or something?
yeah, it's well done. It's not cheesy like the other ones. Like it is legit. It's scary. Yeah.
yeah.
It's him, Naomi Watts, and then Holland.
She's
Don't know
great
who
in
the- Don't know who the other kid is. I guess the other kid didn't break out anything. But yeah, that was like, I think when he was going for Spider-Man, that was the only thing. They're like Tom Holland from The Impossible. Like it was always like, oh, that
Oh,
kid in
interesting.
the tsunami movie and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've
should
only
go
seen
back, check
it
it out.
since that year, but it's yeah, it's a scarier one. So
I'm glad I live inland.
Yeah. See,
Ocean
Vancouver
terrifies
Island
me.
protects us along with the mountains, so
Yeah.
we're safe out here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're
it
like
eats
in
the
Shire. We're in
tsunami, so that
Hobbiton up
Vancouver
here.
is
It's perfect.
chill.
does
Yeah.
it what happens if water fully engulfs Vancouver Island eventually? Then nothing's protecting us. It's just getting closer and closer to us.
I mean, nothing will. I don't think anything will get to us unless it's like It's like it'd be
people that'll get
major
those, the survivors.
doomsday.
Like
the
the
survivors, yeah.
apocalypse.
I think
Yeah.
you'd have a little bit of like some flooding going on in like the Vancouver area and whatnot, but
God, don't.
I think ultimately like the Vancouver Island would take like the brunt of it, but not all of it's going to be totally submerged or anything like that. It's going to be bad, and it's going to put a huge like halt on getting things out there. I don't think there's just not the proper right amount of infrastructure out there to kind of support something like that. When you look at Japan, they got, ever since like their history of dealing with tsunamis and earthquakes, they've just been amplifying and bettering their technology. They got these huge like tsunami walls that they've built up on around, like it's fantastic.
Gundams.
And when I
Kaijus.
big Gundams, that's right. When I look at interviews of people in Vancouver Island, they're like, so what are you gonna do when this big earthquake is supposed to be every 300 years and one's due?
Pray.
Like, oh, we may not be ready, but in our way we are. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They got life rafts and life jackets.
That's not gonna do shit.
That's crazy. Carl, do you get any earthquakes in your neck of the woods or anything crazy?
No, I think the most craziest thing I've seen, and I'm probably along the minority of it, was a mini tornado, and that was it.
Okay.
And that was a freak one. I was about 14 at the time. I thought it
Now,
was
when you say
brilliant. It was
mini, like,
gas.
did it cause
I mean, like-
damage or was it just like
Yeah,
a
it
little-
caused like nothing major, like just ripped off like some shed
couple
roofs
cows
and
got thrown in the
trees.
sky kind of thing?
No, I was hoping for that. Like I think Twister wasn't long out before that. But that was cool to see. But that's about the highlight of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
I've
think
never
we get-
seen a
we just-
tornado.
Yeah,
A
we
lot
don't
of
get
rain.
tornadoes up
Seen
here.
seen a funnel cloud. That's it.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen
like
a
the
few of
start
those.
a tornado. Yeah.
Oh,
The prairies.
Interesting.
You just got to add to it a bit more.
Is that like the day after tomorrow? Like there's just like
I was
a
blowing
big
on it. I was
hole
trying
in
to
the
get it
sky?
going together. I was like,
Like a fire.
big
Kirkle's
bellows.
running around in circles with his arms out, just trying to get like wind going and stuff. Nah, yeah. Luckily, not seeing anything. I think the most natural disasters I've seen is just like our fires, obviously, right? But other than that, I've not seen. I haven't felt an earthquake before. Haven't luckily been in any tsunami situations, tornado situations. So, yeah, I don't want to live anywhere near that type of stuff. It's
Well,
scary stuff.
As a kid on the island, we always had earthquake drills, left, right, and center all the time. I never had an earthquake that I can recall actually being in, and I used to think, why are we doing this? I understand preparedness, but like, there's no earthquakes happening
Taylor
here.
just jinxed himself. Now when he finally goes back to the homeland,
Oh!
exactly how he's gonna react.
I don't know if I'd rather be like on the ferry if something like that were to happen, or on the island. Like
That sounds freaky.
sure.
To be on the ferry.
because if you're on the ferry, at least the guy can be like the captain,
getting
and be like,
capsized.
"Ahoy, let's turn around and get
no,
outta
I
here."
don't.
I don't think you can just turn around.
no,
for an
that guy's
earthquake. I think if it's
underqualified.
earthquaking, it'd just be quaking.
It's not like a car where you can take a hard right and be like, "All right, we're going back home."
It's a big boat, though. I mean,
whose boat was it? But I feel like a boat. Maybe it's just Titanic, but that has to be one of the worst places to be for a disaster. Especially you having a kid. It's different you alone, because I just got to take care of myself. If you have a youngster that can't swim or can't swim well, you're just like, you would be fucked, because like there's too much for you to handle to try to save yourself and also keep a kid above all that stuff. Like that is like some of the worst stuff. A couple years ago, that happened to a wrestler where like he had to literally just sacrifice himself. So his son, it was a boat accident, and he just had to sacrifice himself. He got his son up, but then he passed away because it's just like. That water is so tricky that way. Fire, obviously, there's tons of stuff, right? Like you can pass it from the smoke and the heat and all that stuff. But I feel if in a situation, at least you can, to me, pick up a kid and you can just run and go. But water, it's so heavy. Like I'd take fire over water anytime if I'm having to like deal with that type of situation, So, don't know how we got to natural disasters. Dylan, what's happening in life right now? We're talking about that.
Not much. I moved at the start of February, so I'm pretty settled in my place now.
How's that new Wi-Fi going? Because you got a place that wasn't Telus or Shaw, so you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna see how
It's
that's
true.
going. How's it going now?
Yeah, it's called Oxio. I don't know if it's a Canada thing or if it's elsewhere. It took a long time to set up. I think the idea is that you like switch to it from another provider that you currently have, and so it's like, okay, you just use your current internet until yours run out. But it took like 3 weeks for it to get set up. They sent the modem to the wrong place, so I had to like go to my old place, like go get the modem. It was like all this stuff.
That sucks.
But thankfully, the people upstairs let me use their internet in the meantime. But no, it's set up now. It's fine. It's nice. I went for like pretty much the lowest tier of it. What's nice about it is at any point you can just like go on the website and like pretty much like there's like $5 intervals for like better internet levels. So you can just like if it's not good enough,
Yeah.
crank it up.
You don't
And,
need
you know,
internet show to
sometimes-
come over and.
Sometimes
oh,
my
I gotta do
camera
this.
freezes on the podcast, but that's like the worst that happens. But the audio never seems to drop out, so I don't know. It's like $40, which is like not bad for internet. So
Nice.
yeah,
Dylan, are you so I heard you say the people upstairs, so I'm assuming you're in an apartment, right?
it's just a house, two floor house.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. And
Mhm.
are you, I remember, I think this is the first time I've seen you on video since you moved. You had that whole cool little studio set up for podcast. Are you working on trying to redo that now in the new place, or are you not going to have one of those anymore?
Let me see. I mean, my bookshelf's over there. All my stuff is over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if do you watch the YouTube videos much for the podcast, or do you just listen to the episodes?
Rarely.
Yeah.
He doesn't like looking at us, you know.
I
He sees us like,
I have a very janky
love-
setup because I like doing the standing podcasting thing, and I literally just have a table on top of another table and my laptop on top of that. So I'm
Yeah,
just like moving that around the room depending on where I feel like putting it in the day. So I don't know. My background's always a little bit different right now, but I don't know what I think I need to like soundproof. Like I think there's a lot of echo in this room, but I've never like soundproofed a room before, so I need to figure that out. I think.
sure, that's his cover. Because there's
No,
no
no,
echo
sounds all right.
whatsoever. Yeah. No, I don't. think you
Sometimes
have
I hear echo,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Yeah.
going
That's
insane.
a concussion. Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's-
could be a concussion.
Yeah,
I
on
did
your
take a bad
climbing.
fall climbing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
I knew it. The climbing concussed the man, and now he's
Like
But-
I used to prefer recording in the camper van because it was a lot better. Whereas here I'm in the kitchen and I can hear like a reverb going around a bit,
Right.
but I don't know if it
Yeah.
picks up on the mic.
Okay.
not really.
No, it
I
doesn't.
think-
Okay, so
Yeah.
same for me. Good thing
So-
that it doesn't get actually picked up, I guess.
I think because we all
Yeah.
have that might help.
Just
though.
breaks his microphone.
Like I think that
Get-
kind of catches.
Get the bigger one.
Get the bigger. Which mic do you have?
Get the
Do you have a Shure?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then get the SM7B one and put it on. It's better.
I might.
Oh
This.
my
this
god,
is
he knows the
better.
skew of the freaking pop thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's lost my brains. So.
But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I haven't even put any art on the wall yet, and that's kind of like the last step. So I need to get some. I want to get frames for a couple things, which I haven't done yet. But yeah, I'm living in this place alone now, so I can kind of do whatever the heck I want for setting up a studio or whatever I want to do. So I don't know. I guess I've just been putting that off because like all the basic stuff is done for getting set up. So now I'm just living and in like the daily routine again. So yeah, I definitely need to do a little bit more setting things up.
Well, I see it in his name, so I got to get this out of the way. So Clay and I and Mike, I do have Mike's review. So we did our Oscar predictions every year, and me and Clay were on the losing side of that, including Mike. Shout out to Maddie, April, and Hansi, three-way tie for the Oscar pool. So
That's
we couldn't
crazy.
we couldn't really find a way to tiebreaker, so that's why we did the poll. So we had to watch Hundreds of Beavers. I'd never ever heard of this movie. I take it because the other movies in there were like Craven and something else. I can't remember. April's pick was like something's like Anaconda. Oh, it was Anaconda Raptor, I think it was, or something like that. Which,
Ooh, sounds like a
Okay.
Taylor movie.
yeah, it could have been a mess. But so I think Hansi does like this movie. I think it's up her wins band, and I'll read some of Mike's comments as well too. But this is not a movie for me. It's a movie that it's about hour 48. Definitely could have been 48 minutes. It is a long SNL, like I can't remember what Mike also Adult Swim. Yeah,
There's like
it
no
feels
dialogue, right? Isn't that a thing?
they're all like characters, like ooh, like it's that. It's all like video game Charlie Brown type of NPC talks. That's why I say like technically very well done, very cool. These people worked like very hard on it. It's a mix of live action, mascots, and then animation. So there's a bunch of stuff going on here. It's about a guy who's a trapper and he's trying to make a name as a trapper, and these beavers keep getting in the way. There's some very long segments. There's some fun stuff I had here, but this is just not my not my speed for me. It's not a Travis movie, but I won't fail the movie because I appreciate the work they put into it. It visually looks very cool, and there's tons of stuff where I'm like, oh, how did they do that? How they pulled that off? So they worked very hard, and technically, I think this movie's like, I think it just came out last year, but it was like a festival movie in like 2022, so it's been around for a bit. So I think it's just purely like humor based. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's just if you enjoy it, you'll get further. But for me, it was a tough watch. It was the very, very zany, weird humor, which I can see why people might like. But Clay, how was your experience with Hundreds of Beavers?
Yeah, so I saw a teaser trailer for this a long time ago, and I grew up on Looney Tunes. I'm sure
I'll
some of
bring
you
up
guys,
some footage for people.
and
Oh yeah.
I'm I still to this day like if that's on or something, I'll click on it, I'll watch that. I mean that's funny as a kid, it's funny as an adult, etc.
Mhm.
And oddly enough, before I didn't rewatch the whole thing for this. I ran out of time, but I rewatched a lot of it, and I think for me, just by happenstance, I happened to rewatch Who Framed Roger Rabbit recently, which is like the
Mm.
and live action cartoon crossover movie thing. And yeah, I don't know. I think it kind of boiled down to me. I was trying to think of why this one didn't work for me because I was super excited for it. And I think it's the physics of it. Like they use so much fast forward,
Mhm.
and the animation is all, it's also fast. I think it bothered me that like the physics of it were different from, it felt to me different from like main cartoon for the main cartoons that I grew up on, and like it all felt so quick, and like you couldn't feel the impact of all the physical comedy for me. It didn't work as well
Huh.
as I wanted it to. And also I just didn't buy the main character guy. Like
Mm.
like I he did not do it for me. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that there's no talking and
Oh.
that limited him, but I wanted to love this movie, and
Look at
yeah,
those
I'm still
laurels.
having a tough time wrapping myself around why I didn't love it, but I think a lot of it is the physics. But it is undoubtedly super creative and impressive, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can't talk too much shit about it because they must have put so much work into that, and it's cool, like objectively very cool.
Yeah, no, there's some good set pieces, and that's why I can't fail it. Because
Yeah.
yeah, if you see some of this footage, it's pretty crazy stuff. But
Yeah.
I do think it should have been short. I thought hour 48 was way
Yes.
too long,
Yeah.
way too long. Because
Yep.
at that point, it's tough because like the third act, this is where you see like he faces off against like all these beavers in the third act. So that like it does kind of end off with a bang. But that's where I think we could have got there. Maybe one too many trips to that cabin with the daughter that he's kind of infatuated with or whatnot. But very impressive made. And then I'll read Mike's comments here because he unfortunately was much like us. First off, I respect the hell out of the independent spirit and the creativity that made the movie possible. I also appreciate the commitment to the bit. Another positive was the physical performance of the actors. The lead in particular was fantastic. So there you go, counter to you. All that said, this movie was not my tempo whatsoever. I barely had any idea what the hell was even going on most of the time. I maybe chuckled 2 to 3 times the whole thing. The bad Adobe Flash effects were distracting. At
Yes.
108 minutes, it goes on way was all capitalized, too long. And by the end of it, I completely checked out. It felt like an adult swim short stretched to a feature length. I'm happy so many people seem to think this movie is amazing, which that was the thing where, and that's why I think Hansi does like but I can see someone, I at no fault of their own, if they said that I love this movie, my favorite movie of the year, I'd be like, okay, I get it. Like if that works for you, it does. I don't know if it'd work for anyone here other than maybe Dylan, because I feel like you and the Custard Gnome Boys would have been like enjoying something like. I just feel like I would have walked in and that would have been playing, But at the same, I think you would
Smoke
agree
a
it might be too
bowl and then
long.
watch hundreds of beavers. Maybe that's the way to do it.
If you're high, I bet this movie's fucking amazing. So like, I guarantee you that too. Like obviously, I don't do any drugs, and maybe it was needed, but yeah, I think if you're
Just those
with
lime
friends,
rickies.
yeah, no matter how many lime rickies I take, won't get me that woozy. But
No,
yeah.
this is a movie that did it come out 2023 or 2024?
Came out last year, but
stuff.
it's been around since 2022, but it technically
Okay.
released last year. So
Gotcha, because that's one that I remember hearing really good things about. But then I looked at when it released, and I was like, okay, this wouldn't be a Golden Geeks thing, so I'll watch it at some point. Like it's on the back burner, and I just haven't got around to it yet. But it does seem fun. But I really like your criticism of it, Clay. I think that's a really interesting. Talking about like it's a physical comedy movie, but just like the physics of it felt weird, and so it was like not as entertaining as it should be. I don't know. That's an interesting way to break it down. I'm trying to think if like I've ever had that with any other like physical comedy type things before, where it just doesn't like maybe it's just not funny, but then like yeah, just something about like the whole physics of it being off is kind of an interesting spin on it.
The one I returned to where I noticed the physics felt off immediately, and part of this I think is just because I'm a Spielberg snob, and I'm always like like all over how good he is at that stuff. But when they did Indiana Jones 5, the James Mangold one, part of it I think was some CG stuff, but the physics in that just felt so off to me, and Like you couldn't feel the blows land like you
Right.
could ones and stuff. And I guess part of that is because Harrison Ford is older,
I was
but
gonna say you can't hit him. You can't
Right,
hit him like
right.
you get used to. You know,
Right.
Harrison, pucker up. You know?
but he's still wonderful in Force Awakens, and like that worked for me. I thought J.J.
Yeah.
Abrams did a pretty good job of recreating that kind of thing. I don't know.
you trying to say J.J. Abrams is a better director than James Mangold? Are you trying to say?
I don't know.
No,
dude.
you can't
I
make that
really
case. You can,
like-
there's.
I really like Mission Impossible 3 in terms of action.
I agree.
In terms
Yeah.
of action, I think for sure. In terms
I
of
give you
story-
that
In terms of story, no.
because I don't think because Mission Impossible 3, we're doing the retro. I've always said it's my favorite. So it's not a spoiler, but I think that's the one I could put up there. But I like he doesn't have like a Walk the Line or a Logan, or I still haven't seen a Complete Unknown because I'm just like kind of afraid to see that movie. I love Dylan. Most people I talk to, I think April's the only one that I talked to that like really enjoyed it, but most people I talk to is just like it just feels like it's just, oh, it's fine, and I don't know, I have to see it, but I've always, whenever I see Timmy's performance, like this doesn't feel like Dylan to me. Like it feels like it's kind of a just impersonation, which sounds mean because I don't think it's as bad as that, but yeah, Mangold's a funny guy. He'll do what the
Yeah.
hell's the Bale Damon movie did a couple years ago? It was the Dad movie.
Ford and Ferrari.
Yeah, Ford and Ferrari. Yeah, like he'll do that.
Ford.
Then he'll do Indy That Bombs, and then he does Complete Unknown Oscar stuff, and then
Oh.
I guess he's doing Star Wars. I don't know. So
I love that cop movie that Mangold did. It was one of his Copland with Stallone. That one's really good.
I've never
It
fully
totally would be
seen-
called Copland.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I've never seen it start to finish. I wasn't much. We were talking about this on the retro coming up. Clay, who do you think is the biggest action star of all time? I'm gonna
Creed.
ask Carl the same question. Okay, Carl, who do you think? Like no era, just like if they were asked who's the biggest action movie star of all time.
Oh.
And Dylan, same thing for you. Because we were
I'll
debating.
say the
this-
guy from Hundreds of Beavers. That'll be
Yeah.
my
Okay.
answer.
Good addition to the.
See,
fight.
I wasn't thinking Cruise, but now Clay said it's kind of leaning me that way. Cruise or Stallone, I would say.
See, I was Cruise or Arnold because I was always an Arnold
Yeah.
guy, and for me, Stallone did a lot more dramas where Arnold was pumping out so many action stuff in those 80s and 90s. He didn't do much, like he's never been nominated for an Academy Award. Like that's not Arnold, but I think I agree. I think it was Kirkland that said it, but I think I agreed with him overall that it is Cruise. But for me, the only one was Arnold. We brought up a list where, like, it's tough because some people try to make a case like, oh, Sigourney Weaver, but it's like, well, that's only for like one franchise, right? Or it's like even stuff. I can't remember who else. Like I think there was like Nick Cage. It's like, no, like
I think Harrison Ford though has a case because I think he does the best job of injecting the comedy to the action scenes.
yeah.
All his facial expressions, he's so good at that.
But he always takes long breaks in between those action movies, right?
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, he'd do like Air Force One, but then it'd be like he's gonna do, oh god, what's that movie with him, Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's scary. I can't
Oh, I
remember.
just watched it. What Lies Beneath. I like that one.
Yeah. Because we talked about that. It was the same year of Mission Impossible, which is so funny. It's not to pimp out the retro, but the one fact that I found with Mission Impossible, the first one, it was the third biggest movie of the year at 180 million. Like it's just so funny. Like back then in '96, that was like the third biggest movie of the year, 180. Where nowadays you make that, it's like maybe a modest success. Like that's just all right. But no,
Inflation's a bitch.
yeah, but yeah, it probably is Cruise. I think
I would
that-
say Cruise myself, yeah. I'm going
Yeah.
to go Cruise. You know,
Because-
he just does so much. Like, look at all the stuff he does. You know, all his own stunts. He's 100% committed, even if he's having to go at some of the cast members. But, you know, I like Cruise. I do.
He's having
A lot of
go.
respect
What
for
are-
him.
What are his outside Mission Possible? What are the ones that make you say that so definitively?
Fraction movies.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Fraction.
Minority Report, War of
Yeah.
Worlds, Night and Day.
Tomorrow, even though I don't love that one, it's like
Edge Tomorrow. Yeah,
it's like impressive,
Yeah.
impressive
Yeah.
performance.
Is like 99% of it just like
Oblivion.
Mission Impossible though?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, and that's why I made the case for Arnold because Arnold has True Lies, he has Terminator, he has Commandos, he has Predator. Like Arnold has multiple franchises.
But Mission Impossible is 8 movies now. I mean, that's no.
And yeah,
Yeah.
what year was the first one?
Like, how many
96.
Okay.
how
so
many
it's had quite
movies
the
has
legacy
Arnold
now.
made that are action compared to the Mission Impossible ones?
Tons, like True Lies. So
Right.
Terminator, you got
3.
5.
Well,
You got because
yeah,
he came back
he's
after
in.
he was governor, right? And then you got True
True.
Lies, you got Commando, you got Predator, you got The Eraser, you got The Sixth Day. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, Conan the Barbarian, he did 2 of those.
Mm.
So I'm past the double digits now on him there. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's-
but Cruise is bound to be up around that as well.
He's what? Sorry.
Cruise must be around that number.
Yeah, but I gave different franchises. What I'm saying.
What about like a
Yeah.
Jackie Chan or something like that?
He's
Definitely,
awesome.
you can make a case for him. Maybe not so much now because I feel like in the 2010s, like he just not disappeared, but didn't do more. Or at least Arnold and Cruise were doing stuff. But definitely 90s and 2000s, him and Jet Li, you could make some cases for.
I'm gonna pitch Jason Statham because I'm looking at his
We
roster
talked about
here.
him, yeah.
Oh, you
Okay.
did? Oh, fuck.
But
No, on
they're
the
all
retro, not
low
today.
budget.
Oh,
Yeah,
A lot
He's
of
like-
Statham ones are low budget ones, though. I wouldn't even count them.
Yeah, that's right. He's like the mid tier action star. Like, he's definitely
Yeah.
like technically us as GV
in a
Studios
tier
could
of
go
his
make
own, Travis.
yeah, we could go make 20 action movies and make Kirkland the biggest action star of all time, like quantity wise. But that's Statham, where it's like he has the quantity, he just doesn't have the quality. And I love Crank. I love those movies. I like the Transporter movies, and then he has like a litany of like we should pull up his IMDb. 'cause-
Expendables. I got a list right here.
Oh God,
He
those
never
Expend-
works with good directors, or rarely.
Yeah. Let's
Like-
see.
like
Oh,
the
look,
Snatch
no,
was great.
Roll,
He's
no, go back
great
up.
in
Go back up
Snatch.
to the top. The tier. Like, look at
Meg,
the
like,
litany of
awful.
movies here. Like, that's
Beekeeper.
crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Beekeeper, The Working Man. Yeah. So he's definitely he probably has the quantity, but I
What
don't.
about The
think he has-
Rock?
He could have been, but I think that Disney era killed
my
him.
God,
That
Jack
10 years
Race.
where he did like the Tooth Fairy and Game Plan. Like
Tooth
he's-
Fairy was awesome. How dare you?
No, but as an action star, I'm saying, right? Like he
Yeah.
went away from that, and I feel like he tried to come back with Fast, and that kind of worked. He did Faster.
He's in Collateral with Tom Cruise.
Technically, that movie's in the same universe as a Transporter. He's the same character.
No shit, really?
He drops off a package to Tom Cruise. He's in it just for like 30 seconds, but yeah. It's the weirdest tie-in ever. It's the same way as like, see, I'm not sure if you knew this, that the remake of Friday the 13th is in the same universe as the Transformer Bay movies. Did you know that?
That sounds false.
Because there's a character. No. There's a character. He's you remember the guy who has like the 18-minute sex scene in Friday the 13th, like the your tits are stupendous, that whole thing.
Yeah.
They have the camera. He
Same
plays that
actor.
character named Trey. If you look up his name in Transformers, I think his name is Trey, and he doesn't die in Transformers, but he dies in Friday the 13th. It's Bay's same company because Bay produced that remake. So look up his name. Like I can't remember. Remember he was in.
Call him a
You
name,
season 3?
Trey, right?
No, the actor. I don't know his name. Remember he was in You season 3. He was like the guy. You know. So
I think we're also forgetting Keanu Reeves between John Wick and Matrix and more. Like I like some of his crappy stuff, like Johnny Mnemonic and
Oh, Johnny Mnemonic.
all
Yeah.
other weird ones like that.
Cyberpunk.
It's tough because I had the same thing like Nick Cage. It's almost like the Statham thing is they had those like 5 years of doing so many straight to DVDs it like disqualified them a little bit for me. You know, it's like they had some rough go, but I'm glad Keanu definitely now even like he had the past and then had like a resurgence with John Wick, which definitely puts him in a conversation. So
I feel like with Cruise, I feel like he's just always been in that A-list tier, even if it feels like he's doing as many varied projects or even just doing things in general that maybe I'm just out of the loop on the things he's doing. But I feel like
No,
even throughout my whole life, he's kind of just been in that list, even if he's like not doing a whole lot of stuff still. Like he just has that prowess to him somehow. Whereas
Yeah.
the other people, I feel like they kind of come and go.
no, I completely agree. Like the way, like even though Mission Impossible 7 didn't do as good, I believe he is like the last movie star, like the last guy that can kind of sell a movie, like that people go see it for Tom Cruise. I don't think those really exist anymore, and because I thought it was closer, but when we looked it up, Top Gun the original was I think it was it 86 when we looked up or something, like before even Mission Impossible he was already becoming like a massive name in the 80s. So you think about like he's always like 80s 90s 2000s 10s, like we talked about in the retro, the only time he lost it close was when he started to really bring up his religion and people really turned on him. But then
Right.
him and his agent were really smart. They did a Tropic Thunder, and that changed the whole conversation because it was like, look, he can take a joke, he can be a fun guy, and people love Les Grossman. That was like a huge change up for him. So did you confirm my theory? Not my theory, what's going on there, Taylor?
It's a fan found connection. It says that's pretty cool. His name was Trent, so you're close on that.
Okay, but his name was Trent in both movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just, it's a weird thing that Jason Voorhees and Transformers in the same universe in the 2010s there. So there you
What
go.
could have been?
Yeah.
I think part of what works so well with Cruise and Ford for me is they're so good at the factor of like in the action scenes, holy shit, this is actually happening to me, and like
Yeah.
they have kind of those facial expressions that Arnold and Stallone. They're just, I love their movies, but they're just wooden. Like they're the same guy the whole movie.
Absolutely.
They're never. You could never imagine yourself in the situations that they're in. They're not good at like putting you there.
Do you
Even
think
the
they've
one-liners.
maintained that even in the era of CGI, that they can still pull that off?
Cruise and Ford.
Yeah.
Cruise
Yeah,
for sure.
I do. I think it's slightly tougher because now they're like older and maybe it's just I can't identify with them as much anymore. But like watching Cruise and Mission Impossible, like he's just a kid who's in over his head. Like that is a fun performance to watch. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's just my own personal baggage, but I don't know. Yeah.
Well, and that's we didn't talk about him, but that's why in the '90s he got so popular. Bruce Willis, like we didn't bring him up, but that's why when all those guys, Stallone and Arnold and Van Damme, when they were super jacked, he did Die Hard, and he was just like he's a cop, right, everyday guy, and that's like that's Kickstarter, which I found out that because we were looking at facts of Mission Impossible that Bruce Willis got paid $100 million for Sixth Sense, which is fucking crazy to think about. Just like this little horror drama, like not little, but still, like it's not like a big
great.
massive yeah, it's great, but just $100 million. But Willis, like he had time, but also same thing, he did a lot of straight to DVD stuff. But as again though, I now in life, in retrospect, they said that the reason he did that because he was getting sick and he just wanted to make as much money because now he can't. Like he's really sick now, and like that was very smart. So it's like we never know what's going on with people, right? Same thing. Nick Cage, he only did that because he like bought an island and then went in debt. Like that's why he's doing good movies again now because he said like, oh, I can actually have the choice to pick. Where like 5 years he did not have the choice. He was just had no money, all these debts. Like, okay, I'm gonna go do like God damn, what was that movie? You and Me and Emily on Netflix and film. Remember, it was a Halloween movie. Pay the Ghost. That's what it was. Remember where his son goes.
I do
remember
not
that now?
remember that. I do not remember
It's
that.
him. It's the girl who played Lori from Walking Dead, and their son goes missing on Halloween night, and it's
Oh,
It's-
okay, yeah, this is coming
it's
back to me.
awful.
Wow.
It's so bad, but he had a
That's
whole
crazy.
era of doing like knowing, and he did a movie where he's a hitman. He had super long hair. It's like Shanghai, Bangkok, or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh,
but-
Bangkok,
Wow.
What was it? Sorry.
Bangkok Dangerous.
Yeah, was that
That's a
good or
great
anything?
title.
I've only seen the poster, and he has like a outrageous wig, and I'm like, I can't do this, but
Dylan, who were you? I know you said the Hundreds of Beavers guy, but in all seriousness, who would you and Kirkland and Taylor? Who would you guys
Yeah.
say?
I mean, I feel like if this was asked to me, because obviously we set it up as like we're talking about Mission Impossible and Tom Cruise, and then you ask the question, who's the biggest star? It's like, oh yeah,
Of course,
Tom Cruise
yeah,
makes sense. I feel like that's who I would think of outside of that, but I would be, when I forget a month from now that we had this conversation, ask me again out of the blue at a random newscast, and I'd love to see what my answer is, but I feel like it would be Tom Cruise. I think Harrison Ford is not one that I would have thought of immediately. Maybe I feel like he has more dynamic to him, maybe just because I've been watching that Apple show where he's not being an action guy, he's just being an old curmudgeon guy. But
Oh, so that's Shrinked?
what is it called?
shrinking.
Shrinking.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
he's
Which
brilliant.
really,
I never liked Ford until I watched that TV show. I've always hated Harrison
You
Ford.
never what? The
No,
fuck? You
I just never liked him.
Harrison Ford
Since
until-
I watched that TV show, I have got newfound respect for him. I like him.
Oh my
He's
God.
quite funny.
he's good in it. The
Yeah,
second
he's good.
season, all these freaking shows, man. The second season is just dropping the ball. I'm a little bummed. I think there's more of that show coming, but it's
Are you,
just.
yeah, I was gonna say you stick around for a third one. They cast
I didn't
Jeff
even finish the
Daniels.
second season, so
Okay.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, I haven't started
They
second
lost
season.
me.
Do you, when you think of Harrison Ford with the action, do you count Star Wars? Because like there's action, but sci-fi. That's the tough thing. I count indie for sure, but like Star Wars is this weird
Yeah,
thing. Like it
I-
is an action movie, but it's not in that.
Yeah, I guess I
sense, right?
think more about these action movies where it's just you got that guy on the front of the
Yeah.
the DVD box art, and it's just him being a spy or a cop or something like that. And yeah, so the Harrison stuff, it's more. I guess Jones is sort of that, but yeah, Star Wars. I guess it doesn't immediately come to mind as like big action movie, but obviously it's a huge part of it for him for sure.
Like Keanu Reeves, I think Cruise and Ford are so believable. I mean, Arnold and Stallone are too. They're so believable in like weapon fight scenes, which I think is like even in Star Wars, like you have to be able to hold a lightsaber or hold a gun and make you believe that you actually know what you're doing. And like, I don't know, I have complicated feelings about guns and stuff, but in movies, like I like to have the main characters be good, like look professional doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
Clay didn't show either of your boys with Kurt Russell or Mel Gibson. You know, they had big runs there.
Mel
in the 80s.
Gibson. Mel Gibson is Kurt Russell. I love, like one of my 5 favorite actors. I don't know if I'd put him in the conversation. Mel Gibson. There's a case to be made between Mad Max, Lethal Weapon, etc.
Mad Max went on for a while. Yeah, I kind of forget because that's an older franchise. So
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg. Who's
Good
been
call.
Mark Wahlberg? Come on. Some of these people
Marky Mark, that's my boy.
Because like some of these, like okay, Antonio Banderas, yeah, Zorro, Nicolas Cage, Jackie Chan, Daniel Craig. It's like, yeah, all right. We only talk like Daniel Craig. They list as along with Bond. It's Tomb Raider, Defiance, Cowboys, Aliens, Logan Lucky. But like Defiance and Logan Lucky, I don't like even put like.
Yeah,
really
is there any other
action.
people who played Bond who would be relevant in the conversation?
No, I don't think so. To me, Pierce didn't really. Pierce did what the
Yeah,
Tom
he's done
Crown
a couple
affair,
movies.
and Connery like he did The Rock, but like Bond was his thing, and
I don't know.
yeah, no.
I don't know if this isn't totally related because it's just one movie, but the weird James Bond with George Lazenby, where it's his only movie.
On Her Majesty's Service, yeah.
Yes, that one.
That's Nolan's favorite.
It's so that one is so it's beautiful. It's one of the best looking Bond movies, and then it's a weird one, but the
It's
action
weird.
scenes, if you go back and check that out, the action scenes are so ahead of their time. The way that they shoot them is so modern and interesting, and yeah, it's like a 1969 movie, I think, and it like the action totally holds up. It's a cool movie.
I'm excited for because me and Kirkland said when the next Bond happens, like every time a Bond movie happens, we'll retro like an actor, like renew Patreon poll and be like, okay, pick the era. And I'm excited to do that because I've never watched it with a really critical eye. Just the few times I'd watched, like this is not for me. And it was all when I was younger, but because it's a movie where James Bond retires, gets married. And Act 1 and Act 2 are all set up. It's all, I think there's maybe one action scene in the first act, but that's the setup. Okay, he's done being Bond. And it's just him and his wife, like, on vacation. And it's just like you said, it looks beautiful. And, like, there's a big payoff there, but it takes a while to get going. That's always been the thing that scares me. The only thing when there's the Nolan talks, and he's always like, yeah, that's my favorite one. I'm like, oh, fuck. He's just going to remake On Her Majesty's Service in a sense. And it's going to be like this very slow pace, lots of build up. But I'm like, yeah, Nolan has the set pieces, but
Can't shoot action scenes anyway, so
that's why he wants to do that. Yeah, because he doesn't need to do the action and everything. So, but yeah, and then I don't know what happened. We'll have to look into it when we do the retro. But I imagine that's why he was a one and done because it probably came out after Connery, and people were like, where's like the spy? Where's the act? And they probably the idea in the '60s of them pitching, hey, James Bond should be married. I feel like I know that happens in the books, but I feel like that was not the time. Like people did not nowadays. It's like, oh, Daniel Craig had a true love and he had a kid. I feel like people are like more accepting of it now. In the '60s, it's like, what, James Bond tied down? No, like this is a movie where he's like having sex with like 10 million women in one movie, and you're gonna make him married. It's like that's like kudos to them for trying, and kudos to George. But yeah, just a one and done there. So yeah,
I was thinking about Tom Cruise and going back to like when he was in talks to be in the next Tarantino thing, and then that kind of got shredded up. I hope we get that still. I think that would be really interesting at this point in his career to get Cruise in a Tarantino thing, even if it's like just a couple scenes. Even if he's not the star, I just think that would be really fun to give him a role like that.
Yeah, we brought that up again on the Mission Impossible one because I have the same thing. I'm like, man, I just want that so bad. I've always pitched like, give him what Pacino was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Like, give him one scene because like that's the thing we found. Like, this is notorious, but doing the trivia and everything, he has so not issues, I won't say, but he has so many interesting situations with directors that are just like,
okay.
Here's a minor spoiler for one of the retros. He's like, he goes to Bong Joon-ho for the second one. He's like, I love your work. I love everything you do. I really want you to do this movie. He convinces him to do the movie. And then when it comes time to edit the movie, they lock him out. And it's Cruise and the producers editing the movie. So it's like, I won't say he's a snake oil salesman, but it's kind of that way like, oh, we need your vision. And then they get it. It's okay. You're not touching this movie now. It's done. It's ours. It's like, but if you love Bong Joon-ho movies, wouldn't you want him in the fucking room to be like, oh, I do this and that? So it's like, that's been my only thing of like, probably why he could never star in a Tarantino movie. Cause I just feel like him and Tarantino would fucking, like they'd be peacocks. Their feathers would be up. But that's why I think
They'd
in
be
one
that
scene,
dinosaur with the fucking
yeah.
just
But that's why I
rattling
think
at
in like
each other.
one or two scenes they could probably work out. Like, oh yeah, do that because Tarantino might not care of like change it up. But like Tarantino gets very into his thing. Like even I can't remember. Oh, like when they did Inglourious Bastards, he would walk up to Hitler and pretend he was scared and like, yes, you're like he. I don't know if like Cruise who's yelling on sets and Tarantino who's like having like imaginary
Yeah,
nation
I
time.
guess
It's like it's a
At
weird
least from what we
dynamic.
hear, like so many people in these Tarantino movies are like the role is written for them, and I
Yes.
feel like Cruise would be one of those actors who gets that treatment where it's
Mhm.
written specifically for him. So maybe it would help to alleviate some of those issues by just being like, you don't got to worry about the temperament of this. Like this is written for you. This is your character, and I don't know. Maybe that would put him too much in a box, and we want something maybe a bit different from him. But I think it still would be cool to see.
Yeah, and I always wonder too because there was the rumor that he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that they talked to him. I always wonder for which role Tarantino thought. Like, was it the Leo one or was it the Pitt one? I feel like it's probably the Pitt one because I feel like he's
Yeah,
more
I think so.
he's more cool. But same thing, I could see does Cruise want to play a
Stuntman stuff.
character that maybe kills his wife? I don't know. Not Cruise never kills his wife. I'm just saying he's had lots of other issues in that.
Never shown on
department.
screen. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently the book confirms. I've never read it, but the book confirms. Clay, you read the book, right? I think
I did.
Yeah.
I don't remember the details.
Yeah, I think the book does confirm, but I didn't read the book, so in my opinion, it didn't happen. But
It's not canon.
yeah, I hope it does. Or like again, another person that I don't think would maybe work out, but when Tenet came out and Cruise did that whole video where it's like a 5-minute video where it's like from his house to the car to the theater, and he's like, "Oh, I love it. I like just promoting to get back into the theaters." Like, how much to have Cruise in a Nolan movie? Like, imagine him popping up somewhere in Oppenheimer. Like, oh, I would love to see something like that. Like, I'm so excited once Mission Impossible's done because we're getting Cruise the actor back, and I can't wait for that Iñárritu movie. It's just so I'd
Cocktail
love to see-
sequel.
absolutely
Yeah.
with Nolan.
Oh, they did a cocktail sequel. Brilliant. I'm up for that.
Carl woke up for that one.
Yeah.
Those drink pouring scenes, even you never see. Like, think about the atoms in Oppenheimer, the way they're popping off. Like, Nolan's gonna do
Oh,
that
wow.
with the Lennon.
No, if it's Nolan making it, I might.
Oh my god, there's not any
I'll
Nolan
be-
movie you think is great, Carl?
Yeah, I like the Batman ones and stuff.
Okay, take out the Batman.
Inception.
Boring.
Inception was
Yeah,
good.
Inception.
It's a good one.
Just yeah, I think my problem was with Oppenheimer, as I said before, I was just expecting something different. It was my own fault.
All right.
I just
watching
thought
it
I was
first?
expecting some sci-fi movie for some reason at the time.
Same here.
Yeah,
You
I
excited for
don't know
Odyssey?
why. I haven't seen anything for it.
Okay.
I'm so out
Did
of
you
the
like-
lip.
Do you just like the idea of Nolan adapting the Odyssey? Did you guys read that in your neck of the town when you were a youngin?
No, I'm gonna go Google it.
No. Why are you laughing, Kirkland? Because that's all I heard was. So I had heard of the
It's a
Odyssey.
different world over there, Kirkland. They don't have earthquakes.
Apparently,
everything's
yeah.
different.
Yeah, I had heard of it, but like when so many people, I guess more of my American friends were like, "Oh, I had to read this in school." I didn't have to read the Odyssey in school. I'd heard of like the Greek myths and the idea of like a guy on a big journey getting home and like the creatures and stuff, but like I didn't read that. Like it wasn't a here's a course where you have to read the Odyssey and
No.
tell
You're
me
teaching
about it. I
about
was-
Louis Riel and
that
Burn
well,
the
no,
White House.
I
Yeah.
remember, of course,
That's
Romeo and
Louis Riel.
Juliet. We of course
Is that
did
Matt
Hamlet.
Damon?
Yeah, we
Yeah, it
did
is.
In the Heat of the Night. I
Okay.
remember that. I think we did. Am I wrong in thinking? God, Clay, what's the movie Kurt Russell won an Oscar for? He's fucking. It's with the Native American movie. He directed it. Which one? Sorry.
Kurt Russell?
Or sorry, no. God, who's the other
Oh,
cowboy?
Cock-
Kevin Costner.
Oh, Dances with Wolves.
Dance with Wolves. Yeah, that's a book, right?
I don't know.
I think maybe I'll look. I feel like that was one Dances with Wolves. book.
Clay was having a moment there. He's like, I haven't seen this
Yeah.
Oscar-winning performance.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
1988
1986.
war novel.
Okay,
Oh, in
so yeah,
86.
86. So either way, it could be one of those. But yeah, we read that, and then the other one we read was God, what's the fucking Greasers? Tom Cruise is in that
Outsiders?
one. Yeah, Outsiders.
Oh,
I only have the
Outsiders,
text
yeah.
to
Outsiders.
read it, but yeah. So
Brilliant
those were the
film.
books-
Ralph
yeah, those are the
Macchio.
books- those are the books I read, but when people are like, "Oh, I read the Odyssey in middle school," I'm like, I wish I got the Odyssey, but I'm gonna audiobook it next year. I'm really excited. It's on my Christmas list. So.
Well,
It
it's
wasn't,
got
like,
Matt Damon in
elective
it, so I'm gonna watch
like
it.
The standard schooling.
Oh, and I'm halfway.
So you like Interstellar then?
I think it did. I can't remember it. I did watch it, but I can't remember
You
it.
know Matt Damon's in there, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Great
certain
role.
I've watched that.
Oh my god! You don't know Interstellar off the top of your head? You can't.
Doctor
No,
Jan,
I'm
fuck.
40 this year. You know, it's starting to get foggy.
That scene when fucking
That's crazy to me.
McConaughey's just dying and the air comes through,
Yes.
and he's like, "Oh, just picture your kid's face. It's gonna make it better." It's like,
So
man,
good.
that's some good stuff. And
So
yeah,
Shit,
I'm
have
really,
I seen this?
you should watch it.
Okay, before next after 9, go watch Interstellar
Yeah.
again and report. back.
I'm certain I've watched it because I know I've seen it, but I can't remember a single thing from the movie.
It's
and now I'm looking
slower.
at the pictures. I'm like,
So just prepare yourself for that. Like
Yeah.
it's not as quick tempo as Inception is. It's I won't say it's like Oppenheimer because that'll turn you off. But yeah, I'm excited to see everything with that movie, all the cast. I mean, it was great. Everyone check out the Discord. Mike was breaking down all these roles and everything. That was great to see because it's like, I know the characters but know what they do. So and yeah, Damon is the lead. I'm curious to see if it's gonna be like his Cillian Murphy moment where he's always been I won't say Matt Damon's always been supporting, but there was a time where he was the biggest star. Speaking of the action when Bourne came out, but he's never been like the guy. And I feel like, including myself, sometimes I've put him in the box of like the type of acting he can do. But he is very talented. So I'm really curious. Like this movie, like what Mike has said in the story, it's very much like Oppenheimer, where he is the main character, and there's a bunch of side characters that have big scenes, but the screen time is going to be 75-80% on Matt Damon, and that's something where it's like. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but I trust Nolan with his casting there. So
Yeah.
but I can't wait. I haven't seen, but apparently there's like people because they're shooting right now. There people say there's like going to be leaks coming out soon what the Cyclops looks like, and that's what excites me too. Is that he's doing like beasts? Because I guess I didn't talk about this. Like beasts and creatures, and you're trying to do it all practical. Like I'm sure there's
Beast
gonna
and
be some type of-
Cyclops. You should make the X-Men movie.
He should. Maybe Feige's going to sit him down. I saw the Odyssey. I loved it. And Nolan's like, get out of here. I'm not directing the X-Men. Leave. But no, I'm so excited to see Nolan do like creatures and like big scale stuff. Like I know he can do that, but to be tackling like those fucking multiple-headed dragons or whatever, it's just like, my God, like that I think could be very, very fun. So
yeah, no,
stuff.
is there a trailer out for it? I'm guessing.
no, they just started
No,
filming like a
nothing yet?
couple weeks ago. So
Next
it's
year,
out
Alright.
2026.
summer next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah!
It's like May's Avengers, July is that, and then 2 weeks later is Spider.
How many movies do you think they're gonna drop their release date same day as that to try and get the next Barbenheimer? Is there gonna be like 12 movies releasing that day?
Not that day, but
You said that's in May, right?
no, that's in July.
Oh.
May's Avengers. I was saying because those are the kind of the big ones coming out next year.
I think
But,
also for Spielberg's UFO movie.
Yeah, next year stack, and then you got Peele's next movie too next year as well.
Oh.
So there's a lot of big.
Golden Geek's gonna be juicy.
Man,
Yeah.
this 28 years later sequels, just all the Bone Temple. I don't know. Just
I heard it's Garland's best script in years for the second
Oh,
movie.
really?
Yeah,
And he writes scripts, so that's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Is it, so yeah, the spring is huge. In April, you start off hot with Super Mario Bros. So guaranteed billion right there. And then you got I didn't talk about this while I was gone for the podcasting. The fucking Mummy, directed by the guy Lee Korn who did Evil Dead Rise. That's gonna be
Ooh.
good. That's like
That was a
got-
great film. I was really impressed, but I did not expect to be impressed.
Yeah,
But
so
it
he's
was
doing a
so good.
Mummy remake, Carl. That's what I think.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
match
I'm
made
up
in
for that.
heaven right there. So you got those
Yeah.
two in April, and then in May you got Avengers and Mandalorian and Grogu, and then in June you got Masters of the Universe, the new Steven Spielberg movie, Scary Movie 6, the most anticipated movie of the year. Can't wait. Pixar's Toy Story 5, Supergirl, and then even July next year you got Moana live action. Let me draft that, please. You got Nolan's Odyssey, and then the Spider-Man sequel. So it is from April to July. It is stacked next year. There's tons of stuff. That's a lot of good. The only movie I think that's going to bomb is Masters of the Universe because that's a dumb fucking plot. I'm sorry.
I haven't even seen anything for it yet.
Are you Master Universe fan, Carl?
Yeah, the old movie or the whole franchise in
Just
general.
the franchise. Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed the Kevin Smith one on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I would, but it was really good. And I loved the old Dolph Lundgren film. It was stupid,
Oh yeah. So
but
the
I
plot of
enjoyed it
this
back
one
as a
is-
kid.
Doesn't he have a different name? Because I'm not a big fan. He-Man isn't like Adam or something like that.
Yeah, it's Adam. Yeah, Prince
Yeah,
Adam.
So the plot of this one is the He-Man is gonna be in the real world, and all the stuff in Attorney or wherever it is, he thinks it's just like childhood stories people have told him. So he's working like an office job, and it's gonna be one of those where like the heroes come into the real world and have to get him back.
So-
And I think it's just to save on budget, but that's the idea. Is he's gonna pick up the sword and like, I am He-Man, and like, I think people are gonna see that. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Travis, I know for a fact that you loved Barbie, and then I believe you liked Matrix Resurrections. Those
Yeah.
both kind of have that plot too. Why didn't it bother you with that? Because it bothered me in both those movies that they do the whole real world thing. I do not like that trope.
Because I think with because those like, I think Matrix, that's baked in, right? Like that's how the first one starts. It's the real world stuff. And Barbie, I think you just kind of had to do that. You had to get her there, and you could comment on a lot of society and women's rights and how men are viewed nowadays. I think with He-Man, I don't want any of that. He-Man, I want to be like, I want to see like the big like skeleton guy, like, and apparently Jared Leto's playing Skeletor. Of course, this guy just fucking
no.
he always finds a way to get these.
I thought
big
we were
roles
done
on.
with him. I thought he was kicked out.
He keeps coming back. He's like Freddy Krueger, but I think the
Like a
idea of
cockroach.
like God, what is it called, Carl? Is it Eternia, or what is their place they're called?
Yeah,
Where they
Eternia.
live? Yeah, it's just like this huge, massive world with like these creatures and monsters and everything like that. Where Barbie Land, like that was cool, but like you showed off and you keep going back to it, but then you can go away. And Matrix, like the Matrix is still just the real world, right? It's just like coding. But with Eternia, it's like I've always heard it described as like the best version should be like Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars. That should what He-Man should be.
That
But like,
tracks, to be fair, yeah.
but him on like a day job, like I don't know if I need that. And I like the guy that cast, but him just like, I don't know, working as a lawyer while someone's like, you need to save this, you need to save our world. And Jared Leto, like, do I need to see Skeletor, Jared Leto, like popping around in the real world? Like, I don't know. That's
No, I
difficult.
agree with you on this one. It's like there's films been made with King Arthur, and he's in modern time, and he's gone back to bring. I'm like, ugh, why?
Even
Why?
the
We
first,
just
the
don't need
first
it.
Thor's kind of that, right? Like it starts off in Asgard, but then the whole movie is about like Thor can't use his hammer. And it's like, well, we got to get the Warriors 3, and then like Loki's walking around in like a suit jacket and stuff, and I didn't mind that, but
If Jared Leto saw Adrenochrome and was like, I got to be in your guys' next movie, what role would you guys give him?
oh, in the next movie,
First
or I don't know,
victim.
whatever, just a project.
I think he would work. We've I don't think we've publicly announced, but we've said in cast. So if you've heard it, our third film is like an anthology. I feel like I could find some sort of
Okay.
like he could fit in one story, but like I guess that makes me a bad director, right? Like you say that, and I just go like, my first instinct would be like, no, I'm good. Now that shouldn't be what I say, right? Because that could help our careers. That could get more notice on our film. I should accept Jared Leto, but there's just part of me where I'm like I don't know, like I
You
just
could be a good victim, like a good first kill of the movie.
just a
Set the
torture
tone.
scene, but yeah, I feel like he'd listen to the
30 seconds of
2016 era
screen
and be like, I'm not doing this like film with this dude and stuff like that. So and
Or
that
he might
happens
I
all
don't
the
think he'd
time.
go
perfect
back in the
match.
archives.
Yeah, yeah, and that happens all the time though in Hollywood, where I can't remember what podcast or story I was listening to. It was some interview with a director just saying like they really wanted this, and he was doing everything not to do it. And this one turned out good. Chris Pratt and James Gunn was the same way. They kept saying like, "Oh, he'd be great for Star-Lord," and he's like, I don't really think that's the thing. And that obviously turned out better. But there's cases where people have had to use them, and they're like, I don't feel wanted on the set at all. So that would probably be Jared Leto in our films. But you know,
I love Jared
Most
Leto,
films.
House of Gucci. I love him in that fat suit.
Cute,
It's so
yeah.
good. I hope he's in a fat suit in every movie.
as Skeletor, just, he's
Sure,
had a couple
sure.
rough years.
Fat skeleton.
Yeah, yeah. With some big bones.
Got the bone
Oh.
temple going on there.
Just a sad thing to see. October 26th, the Batman 2, and it's just like big crossed out. I hate when I see that in first showing, but that's when you got the Turtles movie and the Peel movie that comes out in October, and that's when the Tom Cruise and Yuritu movie comes out. So, yeah, and then September,
That
you
sounds
got
like a year.
yeah, September you got Clayface and Resident Evil, so you got some good stuff going on there, and then you got Hunger Games. I guess we're making another one of those.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, a new book just came out, so they're like, let's slap a movie down on it because it's about what's his name?
Harrelson.
Peter.
Yeah, fuck, I can't remember his name. It's the mentor to Katniss, basically, when he
Hamish?
went
Was
in.
his name
Amish,
Hamish?
yeah, Amish, I think. Yeah,
Is
so
it Amish or Hamish?
I think it's
Probably
Hamish.
Hamish.
Okay.
So about his time in the ring. So
They literally greenlit it before
another
the book was
prequel.
written. Yeah, they greenlit. They're like they announced the movie and the book at the same time. Like, oh, you like?
They did it
Hamish?
with Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes too. Like they're fucking ruthless.
I like
worked
that. That's
out.
cool.
It worked out. And then you got Narnia
Yeah.
after that, and then Jumanji 3.
I can't wait for all that Narnia stuff. Oh
you excited for
man,
Narnia?
I'm very much excited, especially with Daniel Craig playing Crazy Uncle Andrew. I think that's going to be great. The prick of a wizard magician character. That's awesome because me and Madison are still working through the audiobooks. So
I see.
it's a really cool story, especially with Magician's Nephew setting up. I won't spoil much, but like the world in between worlds and how like the
Is it
Ice
called
Queen that's like between where like Narnia is. You go to like this
Okay.
it kind of think of like Mario Sunshine. We're at Delfino Plaza, and you have the paint places you can go to different worlds, right? You go
you
through
see
the different
Ahsoka
paint
there?
marks.
Ahsoka's also in the world between worlds.
That's another good example too, yeah. But you don't see Ahsoka there.
No Ahsoka. Yeah. No, and that one's getting theatrical because it's Netflix, but it is coming. Greta Gerwig bent them
Nice.
over, so
Bentham.
she did because they were like, hey, we
So
don't
she
want to do
does.
that. And then my theory is I think she was gonna walk, and they're like, all right, we'll go theatrical because she was saying that the whole time. And even IMAX thing put out some statement like, we're not doing this again. We're just doing this for Narnia. I don't believe that, but like, because I think the idea is they don't want streaming movies to be in the theaters because that like kills theaters, right? Because then eventually it'll just promoting Netflix and Amazon Prime and all this stuff instead
Oh,
of
okay.
like, yeah,
That sort of
so,
makes sense.
yeah, but yeah, and then Peele, I'm excited to see what he's cooking up. It's been
Mhm.
it's been a minute since Nope, hasn't it? Nope was like what 2021, I think.
No.
2022.
No.
So still 4 years. That's,
Quite a while ago.
that's a long
I
time.
really want to try Nope. I was so excited for that movie, and I only watched it the one time in theater. Then I was let down. But on paper, that should be a movie I love. So I'm definitely gonna try it again.
Mhm.
Yeah. And all those old films had like 2 years between. Like Get Out was 2017, Us was 2019, and that was 2022. But that got delayed because of COVID, so that would have been 2021. So like they all were always like a couple of years apart.
Taking
I guess
his
that was
time.
3. So yeah.
Clay, Carl, did you guys see Mickey 17?
No, I'm actually excited to see that though.
Okay.
I
Anything
did.
else?
And Dylan, this is like the
Oh,
rare.
wait.
Yeah, I feel like you and I usually agree on a lot of things.
You know what? Stop talking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Um, I was so bored, and the humor did not work for me, and a lot of the performances didn't work for me, including Pattinson, who I usually like, and Naomi Ackie. And I ranted all over Letterboxd. You can read my review after this, but the
Yeah,
whole
I think I
like,
saw the number.
There's
Yeah.
that 1 star right there.
Oh.
Ruffalo is like no doubt really good in it, and I agree with you guys. He's like, for me, more intermittently, not the whole time, but he has some really funny moments. I did laugh a couple times, but I am just so sick of like putting Donald Trump in our movies. I get enough of Donald
That's
Trump
fair.
on a daily basis, and that's my own personal baggage. But I did not need that whole thing. It just, yeah, did not work for me all around. I was hoping. I guess part of it was my own expectations of thinking it was going to be like a big interplanetary sci-fi adventure thing, and it was a lot more talky than I thought it would be. And some of the dialogue too, like I don't know if it was because Bong Joon-ho wrote this by himself, right?
I think so. Let me confirm, but
I mean, I know
thought
he
did.
adapted it, but
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
so many instances of just like way too many characters saying the word fuck like 50 million times in a row. Naomi Act in particular, and I was like, what are we doing here? This just sounds like a kid who just learned how to swear for the first time. I did not like that. So I'm sorry if now you notice that when you go back and watch it. That's probably an annoying thing to bring up, but yeah, it just did not work for me, and I wanted to love it, and I even wrote in my review like, I'm happy I saw it. I'm not happy I spent so much time watching it, but I'm happy I gave it my money, and I'll watch anything Bong Joon-ho does. He's great.
Yeah, he was the only writer on there. So
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Edward Ashton, based on the novel Mickey
And
Sevens.
and did everybody else like it?
Yeah, I think we were
I loved it.
all
Yeah, I love
Okay.
it.
on their end.
I liked your guys' review.
I'll watch it then. Okay. You almost had me talked out of it, Clay.
Is it gonna be
Sorry.
in theaters, or
It really-
sadly, it's already on VOD in 10 days. So
Yeah, I'll probably just wait. I haven't been to the cinema
That's
in a while.
crazy.
I shouldn't have told them. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so quick nowadays. Like And we were talking about that with friends not long
Yeah.
ago. It's just like there's no time at all before it's released on VOD.
It's because if they take up theaters, cost money. If it doesn't make them a huge profit, they just pull the ripcord right away and just get it out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
How is Black Bag doing this weekend? I'm assuming that's going to go to VOD pretty quickly, but I hope it does better than expected. 'Cause I think you guys will
I
dig it.
know. I want to see that so bad. I've heard good things. I might try to see in the theaters if I got some type of time. But yeah, I know Novocaine was number 1 this week, and I know the big other hubbub was that Looney Tunes movie's bombing, and everyone's like, "See, this is why we didn't get Coyote and Acme and what da 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 da." And it's like, well, now it's like, it's not that's not true, but it's like kind of is. You know, it's like it just comes out and does nothing. So. I can't.
I think
find
that's
out.
good criticism though, Clay. Like obviously me as well. Like I'm sick of hearing about this Trump individual. You know, it's never ending. I know you've mentioned that too with other stuff like White Lotus and whatnot. Just like so many movies are just about like shitty white people and how shitty rich white people are. It's like I get it, and this movie's definitely that too. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like maybe since the humor is working, since I like the sci-fi, maybe I was less distracted. But I definitely think compared to like Parasite and stuff, definitely was less targeted and poignant in terms of like the message of it. It was a bit more scattershot of throwing all these ideas out there, and didn't really tackle all of them with as much depth. But yeah, still, I guess the rest of it just worked for me, so I could look past some of that stuff.
I hear you. I
It
hear
was
you.
the Friday first one, so Novocaine 3.9 million, and then Black
Oh,
Bag,
Mickey,
2.8.
only
So
2
Mickey-
more million.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
wow.
he's taking like a
Mickey's
60% drop or something like that
This
this
is gonna be
weekend. So.
rough box office weekend. Gee.
Yeah, and then I guess they're hoping next week Snow White saves. Anyone seen Snow White? Quiet.
I thought that came out like 2 years ago. I was shocked to see an ad for it the other day. I'm like, oh, this hasn't been out yet. Okay,
A
interesting.
re-release.
Yeah, a remaster. Threw some DLC in there. Yeah, Game of the Year edition.
No, I might if I don't know. I'll have to see. I'm definitely gonna take the movie Girls 2 movie at some point because it's spring break. It's just a question of I really don't want to see Snow White, but it's like that. There's Dogman, maybe Looney Tunes. I'd personally rather see Looney Tunes, but I don't know if they're all into that. So I will let them pick. But so I might see it, but not by choice. I'm just gonna say, hey, you go. Or I'll try and talk to them in the Mickey 17
By gunpoint.
Yeah, you guys, you'll learn a lot with Mickey 17. You know, but
Sure.
yeah. Taylor, you're not even seeing Snow White? You usually sometimes
I
check out
was
this live action.
I was thinking about it, but I'm not necessarily feeling like super jazzed to go. Like the last one, it would have been Mufasa, but wasn't even super jazzed for that.
Have you
Before
heard that hit
that,
song from
Brother.
Mufasa?
oh fuck.
Brother.
I haven't. That's the one thing. Like when I put on my kids like Disney songs, just circulate through. It'll do Moana, it'll do Frozen, do some of the classics, but it always slides that fucking brother song in there.
Oh,
Like
you
it's
heard
at least.
it before?
Oh, it's always. Oh my god, it's just always popping up. So I'm not a big fan of racing to see that, but we'll probably see what's on Disney Plus. Before that, though, Little Mermaid was the last one I saw in theaters, and that's because I really like Little Mermaid. But again, we talked about that a few after nines ago. They cut out the French chef and a few other things, so
Can
it's
you
just
clarify? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say you make it sound like we were also very mad about the French chef. I think
no.
it's just you that's mad about
I
the
was
French
mad. We were
chef.
talking about it. To be honest, the next Disney live action adaptation I'm stoked about is Lilo and Stitch because I saw that trailer and I fucking got so pumped up seeing just like scene for scene. It was very similar to the animated film, and it's just it looked like damn, this is gonna be a great time, and they're not trying to do anything too different. Just make it an adaptation to what the
Is that what
animated
you
film
want,
was.
though? You just
Yeah.
want just a 1-for-1 copy of the live action. You with this, Kirkland with How to Train Dragon. Like you guys got the movie already. You're just watching like
Yeah, what's the
real
point of watching the
actors.
same thing?
It's like a
Yeah.
remaster with DLC. That's good.
Yeah.
That's right.
You just
Don't.
triggered my memory about your Little Mermaid thing, ranting about the French chef. I think that was the hardest I laughed during a newscast when you started singing that song and everyone else went down on it. I laughed so hard with you, not at you.
I appreciate it.
You and
We're
I
happy
have
to-
the humor on that stuff.
Were you happy to? They replaced it with the Scuttlebutt song. Disney's creating some really terrible songs.
That's
Scuttlebutt.
bullshit. Because there
All
were
about the scuttlebutt.
two scenes with the French chef that they axed. It's fucking bullshit.
The dog too. They took out, didn't they?
He's in there
The-
kind. I think
The
he's
dog's
in there.
kind of
the
in
dog?
there.
Yeah, it's harder to do with the dog because he's not animated, right? So you can't do all these tricks and
We could have had him
everything. So
singing.
no, I just like Lilo and Stitch. Again, if the girls want to see it, but I think it's just like it's a perfect way to con your guys' money. Like Lilo Stitch, you're paying for the exact same movie again. You know.
Mm-hmm. I haven't enjoyed a single
Interesting.
one of the remakes. I haven't thought there's been one good yet at all.
Wow.
I remember
Yeah.
liking Jungle Book. I think that's it. I'm kind of taking a break from those.
I like Cinderella because it's somewhat different, and they changed some things in there, and I like some of the acting choices. Kate Blanchett's great as the evil stepmother. She's just delivering the whole time. So, you know,
She's great in Black Bag. Get ready.
I'm pumped up like Taylor with the Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
I am. I'm ready for. I'm coming off The Agency. Fassbender was great on that. I'm loving that he's doing this like whole spy era thing. It's like I didn't get him as Bond, but I'm getting him as this. So no, Black Bag. I'm looking very forward to.
So we know we got the Moana live action. We know we're getting Frozen live action. Do you think they'd ever do a Toy Story live action?
Problem is they haven't done any Pixar live action though.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why they might hold up.
That's right.
Pixar before has said we have no interest in doing that. Now, lots of things change, and I don't know if they have. Yeah, I don't know if they have the control. If they don't want the money, I don't know if they have the control to stop. Like, if it's Iger, whoever the next Iger is, to be like, hey, we're making Toy Story. You know, buckle up or quit. So I don't know if they have something in their contracts where they do approve the films. But again, they said, hey, we're not doing Inside Out 3. And then a couple weeks later after it came out, like, oh, I think we got some ideas for it. So it's like, yeah. So
I still haven't watched the second one yet, and it's supposed to be really good.
what the yeah. Emma Stone's going to sign up for Jesse. Taylor's showing us an AI generated photo right now.
Chris Pratt
Chris
official
Pratt.
trailer.
Yeah,
God.
I'm in.
Not
I'm
Chris
in for
Pratt
that.
is Woody's all wrong. It has to be like Tom Holland or like Tom Hiddleston.
I would get a Woody over that,
Oh, man.
definitely.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh my
That's like
gosh.
a somewhat better,
John
but
Krasinski, another one.
no.
I have
that
a
is
Woody
the one.
costume in there, actually.
Do you?
You should wear it.
Oh, yeah, I
Really?
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
except-
wear it.
Wear it to the premiere live action movie. So
That's it.
But-
Maybe go for the part.
yeah, but no, maybe we will probably see it. Unfortunately, in our day, and I feel the Toy Story one's gonna be very odd to see. Like you're gonna have It's gonna be like Ant-Man when he's small, but like that's 100% the movie. Like the whole movie is Glenn Powell and Emma Stone being small and like looking out for like. There's such.
I don't
a
think he
recipe for
just-
disaster.
You just can recreate that. I can't see it. I just can't see it.
I can't either, but I think they'll do it at some point.
Do
Hopefully,
you,
when I'm
you
long.
want it? You want it,
No.
Taylor?
I think I love Toy Story 2, and I think Toy Story 2 would be a lot of fun because it's
Well, they wouldn't do the weakest one. They'd leave that out.
I love Toy Story 2 is so good though. You got the airplane scene, you got Zurg
I
and
take
the
it
multiple
back.
buzzes.
Who are you casting as the prospector, Taylor?
Ooh.
Nick Cage?
No, not Nick Cage. That's
Nick Cage just played Sid.
Nick Cage is Woody. He's reserved for the main leading role.
Woody's
No,
a good
he's
one
he's
too. Yeah.
slinky.
I feel like William Poulter, but he's too old to play Sid.
Oh well, yeah.
William
Well, you
Poulter?
de-age him. De-age him.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
they want you now, you know.
I'd have to
I
keep,
watched an interview
Jesse
about him talking
Plemons
about that a
as
while
the
ago, and everybody said he looked like him.
Did he take his joke, or did he get really offended by it?
No, he thought it was funny. Somebody came
Okay,
up and
good.
asked him for an autograph, and he said, "I really loved you in Toy Story."
That gets points. I hate when people and someone I can't remember who it was recently. They got asked about the nepo baby thing, and they just completely like lost on the interviewer. It's like, oh my, just like I work really hard. It's like we get it. We know you work hard, but there's still like you still got a foot in the door. Like no.
That's why I
Let's-
love Margaret Qualley. She's like, I'm a
Yeah.
nepo baby. You know what? But I'm
Yeah.
also work hard.
Exactly.
I think that's why I like Jack Quaid too. He does a little
Yes.
bit of. Yeah.
Hmm.
Clay,
Get the movie
let's get Wallace Shawn as the prospector.
Wallace
You-
Shawn. You just
you
made
pulled
that
it
one
off
up.
of Google.
Throw a picture up. Throw a picture up.
Inconceivable. Inconceivable.
He's the little boss guy from Incredibles also,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Says he's also in Toy Story as well.
Really? Who does he play?
I'll try and find out. You know those Pixar people? They're doing like 10 voices and stuff, right?
Oh, he's Rex. That's right.
Can't
He's
do that.
Rex's voice.
Can't do
Oh
that.
wow.
What about Brendan Gleeson? We just talked about Mission Impossible
Ooh.
2. Remember he's in Joker 2? I don't think he would ever do a movie where he's farting in a box, but I feel like, he's big enough for it. Oh, you know what would be? That would be fucking like Josh Gad or something like that. And that's what we'd get.
Alright.
Josh Gad.
Man, Josh
Or
Gad.
Jared-
I don't know, or
Jared
Jack
Le-
Black. Yeah,
No,
Jared
not-
Leto.
not
Jared,
Jared
they
Leto.
bust
Jared
out the House of Gucci suit,
Yeah,
and he'd do the prospector. No, you know he want to be fucking Woody, and they'd cast him as Woody too. I'm not. I'm not prepared. I think it's gonna bomb, but if that Tron movie does good this year and Jared Leto's a star of it, I'm not ready for Leto to be everywhere again. But I think it's gonna bomb. I don't think everyone gives a fuck about Tron anymore. So
If Philip Seymour Hoffman was still alive, I think he could do a
No,
good
don't do that,
prospector.
Tom.
Yeah, remember? Okay, Kirkland. You know, Along Came Polly. Remember when he's playing
Oh, yeah.
basketball?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think-
that was before Capote and his Oscar. Not like no, he can't. Go, he could not go back to. He has a son though. Look up his son. Maybe his son will do it.
Yeah, from
Probably too
Licorice
young,
Pizza, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe
Cooper
his son-
Hoffman.
Yeah,
Coops.
I shouldn't even put that out there. Cooper Hoffman, don't do it. Stay what you're doing.
Yeah, we
Oh,
shouldn't even be talking about this. This is gonna.
You're putting bad juju out into the world and stuff of live action Toy
Yes,
Story.
this does not need to happen.
No, but hey, maybe Carl, maybe it's gonna be our kids. Like when their parents, they'll be like, "Oh, they're fucking doing the live action Toy Story." Like my parents, right? Like Lion King
Again.
came out. Yeah, like Lion King came out in the '90s, and then once I was a parent, it's like, "Oh, they're remaking it." So maybe that'll be it. When we're grandparents, that's when we'll get the live
We'll
action.
come to you. Hey, I got casted in this new Toy Story movie, live action.
Disowned.
I-
Literally
okay,
disowned right there and then.
if one of
You're out of the well.
No, if one of my kids came up and said, "Oh, I got cast Toy Story," it's like, "That's great! Like that's a big paycheck. That's awesome." I'm not gonna show them and be like, "Why are you doing that? That's the death of cinema. I couldn't believe you're." No, if it's a job, then great. Get Toy Story. You know?
I raised you better than this.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, thanks Taylor for putting that
With
out
Will Poulter, are you guys? Is anybody gonna see the Alex Garland Warfare movie? I have mixed feelings about it. Like it looks crazy sad. I can't say I'm like jacked up for it, but just it leveled up so hard. I feel like with Civil War in terms of action scenes. I'm excited to see what he can
Mhm.
just for like
Yeah.
filmmaking level.
I
I
didn't
don't
like
know
Civil
if I know
War.
this movie.
I feel like it'll be more on my of my fancy than Civil War was. Maybe that's what I was expecting
Got it.
Civil War to be, a little bit more.
Got it. Yeah.
But I
Yeah, I
see
thought
with
Civil War was going to be so good, but it was awful.
Wow, you too. But Kirkland with Civil War though, did you want the war aspect or did you want the conflict aspect more?
I
Because I,
wanted
feel
the
like
conflict aspect
Yeah.
more like focused than just following like the journalism, like the
where I
journalism
feel like this is gonna be like
aspect.
you want to see Call of Duty the movie, like it's gonna be like because I think isn't
Oh,
it
yeah.
co-directed by an actual war
Yeah.
vet, or did he co? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's supposed to be like very intense, very like realistic war battle scenes. I just like, and I home watch. And it might be one I miss. I've said this before. I don't have really an interest in war movies anymore, and I just
Yeah.
I don't. I need to see it for myself. I know a lot of people be like it's glorifying war and soldiers. I don't know about that. I need to see it, but I also don't like. That's not the content I'm looking out for. But if it's well made, and I like all of Garland's work so far, so at home though, not theaters. I don't think.
It's tough with Garland. Like he's one of my favorite directors, but on paper I should not like him. Like I loved Civil War, but he was putting out all these weird comments about like, oh, this is such an anti-war film. Like this is an important movie, blah blah blah. But like you say that, and then you put these cool soundtrack songs in, and I'm like, it's really hard to make an anti-war movie. Like you can't say that and then put in these cool songs and be like. No, you know what you're doing. You know you're trying to make it like a cool movie. I don't totally subscribe to that, but he's undeniably, I think, really good with the action scenes and just the tension, and so I'm excited for that part of it.
Clay, did you like Annihilation?
Yeah, I loved Annihilation. It's a
Okay.
weird, but I love it.
I gotta give it another go because it should be completely up my bandwagon. But I think that
Yeah.
people just overhyped it for me when I saw it. I was like, okay, but like well acted, well shot. Like Oscar Isaac in that movie is crazy. Like the stuff he's going through and everything. But I gotta give it another go because it's one that I wish I enjoyed more. So
Cool.
Taylor, you seen Warframe?
Well, I was Warframe. That's a video game. I was
is
just
this?
looking at
Yeah.
the trailer for Warfare.
Warfare.
Yeah, it looks good. It gives me vibes of Battle Los Angeles with.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Great movie.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
I've never.
Not actually a great movie.
You've
but
never
great
seen
movie.
it, Clay?
Clay, I think you need to watch it. That's. I think it's up your alley.
It's a great B movie. Have that in mind. It's not
Okay.
an actual great movie. It's a great B
Okay.
movie. Yeah.
I
Aaron
like-
Eckhart, Michelle Rodriguez.
Aaron Eckart's always going like 150%, even in bad movies. So
Oh, he's going.
He's going. It's great. It's following like I won't spoil it. Following the Marines. If you don't, do you know anything about it?
they fight aliens, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's so
spoil.
good.
I'll check that.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Okay.
And then there's that other movie, Ash is coming out too that I'm curious about. That's Adrena Adrano movie with what's his name, Jesse Plemons. It's some sort of sci-fi movie that comes out next week. And then-
Lemons, you say?
Paul, right?
or sorry, not Plemons. Fuck, that's the other Breaking
Oh.
Bad guy.
Well, now I'm less interested. You
Aaron
messed up
Paul.
there.
I said Jesse because
Jesse
that's
I
who
don't
it
care
is. Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, and then
I'm
Death of
out.
Unicorn, which I'll happy watch at home. I think it could be good, but yeah.
Yeah, I try to see all the A24 stuff, but Death of a Unicorn doesn't totally look. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Are you seeing Opus? this
A24 is
week?
kind of broadening the scope a little bit. I think they're doing some less
Yeah.
interesting things.
Yeah. What about are you seeing Opus this week, Clay? Because that came up, but that movie's bombing hard, big time. And that same thing as like the Sundance. Laurel has like A24, but that movie no one's seeing. I want to see it, but just too much to see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never know about Clay. But
No, he's gone. What do you guys think happened to Maddie, by the way?
I know he came.
It was
in
the Michigan
there.
game. Michigan game, right? You guys were saying.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think I'm hearing bad things about Opus, but I really like Ayo Edebiri and John Malkovich, and I heard that movie was cut to shit by the studio. So I don't know. That might be a home watch. We'll see.
By A24, the studio.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard
Oh.
it got chopped up. Like there are a bunch
Great.
of side characters who have were like big actors, like Juliette Lewis, who I really like, is in that, and apparently she has like 5 minutes of screen time, and they're like there was definitely something cut from that, and yeah, I heard it's just not really like about anything, and they just kind of it's a weird script.
This is what happens. We get this nice studio, little studio, making all this weird shit. It's all going out there, and now we're getting this thing. Oh, they cut the movie to shit. It's like-
Money.
yeah, they
It's
cut
all
the
about
movie
the
to shit. It's
money.
like, and I remember last year in the newscast when we talked about, because remember they were going for the Halloween rights, and they didn't get them. But then that report came out like, oh, they're gonna try and get a lot more of that type of stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I need that. And that's why the time they announced like they're doing the Death Stranding movie. It's like, in theory, I want that, but at the same time, I just worry. Yeah, they're gonna kind of lose himself, and then now it's like A24 had such a specific brand and a track record, and I feel like even if you didn't love every movie, you knew someone that loved that movie. You'd be like, oh yeah, like I didn't care for this, but I know so and so loves this one, right? Where now I feel like that might not be the case going forward. Which and no one who's kind of taking their crown is Neon. Neon's kind of taking that.
Yeah.
Like they had Substance last year with the movie and everything, and like they had Parasite. They had another big
Aren't
one.
they long legs?
Yep.
They are long legs. Yeah, they're long legs, and I haven't seen the monkey, but that
Monkey.
did well for them. Am I wrong in thinking Anora's not Neon? Is it or
Yeah,
is it?
it is.
Yeah. So they're
That's a really
Neon,
good run.
Yeah, Neon's like doing.
Has
that
anyone seen the
type of-
monkey yet? Is that good?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Long Legs. I think
Okay.
it's got some third act issues and stuff, but it's fun. It's a good time, I thought.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's still in theaters. See, and that's one they did the same thing. With Long Legs, haven't put in theaters. Been out for a while. That's been out for I think like end of January, beginning of February, and they're still
Yeah.
holding on to it. So, but yeah, no, Neon's become that studio. But yeah, that sucks. But yeah, Death Unicorn. I'll see.
The older A24 movie that I absolutely love, that there were like hints that there was gonna be a sequel for a second. I was so excited, even though I have no idea what that sequel would be. Did you guys ever watch A Most Violent Year with Oscar Isaac and Jessica
Well,
Chastain?
Yeah, the year came out. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know there was a sequel announced though. That's kind of
No, I
odd.
think it was like a fake announcement because
Oh.
Chastain and Isaac like did a TV show together or something.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You got
Scenes from-
AI.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Scenes from a Marriage Story, which I've never watched that one. I've heard it's good, but like a depressing good, where it's like,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Anything else here to end us off before we check out?
It's a good one. Nice little intimate episode of Afternoon.
Yeah, Maddie, I hope you're okay. We saw you pop up, and you gone away.
We never
Maybe the
saw
power
you
went out?
physically, but
Hi,
we
Maddie.
imagine you were at your computer or something.
Yeah, I did bring you up though on the screen, so people saw that you were in the room though, Maddie. So we know you were here. So I don't know what
He
happened.
reacted to the pizza bet that I
Yeah.
posted in the Discord, so he's
Okay.
he's aware. of
He's
what's
still
going
It's his
alive.
alibi.
Ruffles.
It
He's
must
doing
be a sports
something.
game. It must be that
Yeah.
sports game.
Did
you
he? How did he react?
Fire and heart emoji. Two
Oh, so
emojis.
does But that
Same
doesn't
guy.
tell us which way he's.
Fire. Maybe there's a fire at his house. We should be just
yeah. Simple.
sending.
Send somebody around quickly.
But then the heart kind of throws it off. The heart.
Well, that was him dying. That was like.
No, that's
Oh,
that's
it's
just
like one
there's a
last
fire
part,
and I
yeah.
love you. I'm sorry.
Please rank the trailers, and then he passes away.
That would be scary. We talked about the whole water versus fire situation, and here's Matty just like fighting to get out of here. And it's like what I said about Taylor. He's quiet, then he's gone. But no, Matty kicked that fire's ass. He'd suck it
Oh,
up
yeah.
and then shoot it out.
Wasn't
and
looking like
everything.
Jim Carrey. He was looking like, I don't know.
Yeah, he put it out.
Not Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, thank you guys for joining. This was a fun one. Good to catch up with everybody. Good to see you again. Unfortunately, Carl, Clay, can't
Yeah, I
wait to
know.
see
I
your
know.
next
Do
location.
you know what? The podcast was great. I actually started listening again when you
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
now you can,
and
Okay,
now you're
now
back,
you're out again?
and I'm back out. Yep,
Yeah.
just
okay.
went
Break
downhill
number
really
6.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first 2 were mine. She can have the rest.
She can have the rest. My God. Well, then you better be paying for their Disneyland trips when it comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
That'll save
I
you
look
tons of
after my
money.
own.
It on the podcast. It's been really fun listening, and especially at work and stuff. Your bud, I appreciate it. It's you guys are doing great stuff, and it's fun listening. So thank you.
Oh, thanks. Like I
Thank
said, I'm
you.
excited to see where
Means a
we.
lot.
Every time you need to be a new location now. You can't just be at home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you gotta
On the road.
next time,
Exactly.
go commit a heist or something while we're
Sure, sure.
watching stuff like that.
That's why he's on the run. He's
when it
always
comes
moving
on.
locations.
He's definitely one day.
This is his alibi. Look, I was on a live podcast at this
One
time.
day on
And then he
See,
pulls on the
Crime.
ski mask and then robbing banks.
Yeah.
One day on CNN, we're gonna say like massive bank robbers finally been caught, and then like they're gonna use these clips in the stupid true crime doc, and Clay takes us down because like, oh, you gave him an alibi and you talked movies with him. He was a monster. But,
I only needed the money to make a good film.
yeah, exactly. Well,